find for sure. Reich's going to get the trade back onto Proctor. It's 3 versus 2 now. Luden's desperately trying to get onto that site, but no! Reich's going to shut it all down! Pull the pin on that nade. He's going to throw it out, but no! Proctor's going to take him out. Try swinging it and see if he can find anything, and he is going to swing, and he's going to find 2!
Just looking the wrong way, Right continues his rampage. Make it 4. Can he find the ace? He looks towards the door. Can he find the last 2? He puts the fuel through it. He flicks, and it's an ace!
All of those bullets, and the C4 is going to come out, and it's going to, well, clean up that round. When you know how aggressive Team 9 are playing. Save Tsunami, sorry, Brendan's live there for a second, and Brendan's going to find a second, and a third, but no! Zippy's going to walk on in.
This could be a throw here. DJ7 identifies with the player as Dempsey wins out that 1 versus 1, but no! Oh, what a shot! Second one coming up. Can they all line up? That's the question. Well, they certainly look like players now. Left with it all to do. Diffuser in pocket, run straight into Victor.
There are players right nearby him. Bides his time, and takes down Spack, who's trying to pull out his hammer without checking yellow stairs. And the refrag attempt from Magpie. The red ping comes through. Kovac is setting down the fuser, tries to launch over, and does manage to get the kill. Need to move there. They did a top pinch and a side pinch at the same time, and it just resulted in this shade. A loss. 10 centimeters picks up the first, and here he swings. He gets the supporting player first, and then the planter. Once it's stuck, 2 versus 5. Start this round. Thankfully, Duck is there to save things a bit. So much pressure on this East player. Duck gets another. What a great chance for Ludens. They're back to an even count. And the verticality. Have to fall back to site as quickly as possible. In the post plant though, this round has gone by in a flash. What a headshot onto Yukio, and connects with the second onto DJ7. Quite the same level of performance as we saw from them yesterday. Oh, Weiwei though just gets away with bloody murder, taking out Spack, who's completely unaware of the threat. And a second for Weiwei player. This is falling apart for Deviant. Six are taking out Sandaunos. It doesn't matter. Where are you, Yukio and Scipio? There you are. You're in his crosshairs. Spreading out those kills as well. Finding one. Bionk sends Magpie to Horny Jail. Now's the time to plant. As Reich is there as the active drone. This is perfect use of that utility. And now, with him dead, oh, the engagement comes through. So lit, both players.
Let's see one player going towards connector. He's not giving it out. What are you doing?
Oh!
What? Oh.
There we go. Kills are in a 1 versus 1 somehow. Yukio now just duking out with one person. Can set it down under the cover of Scipio. Waiting, but Scipio loses his 1. It has to come up. DJ7 actually sticks to the plant, but he can't come up and protect it.
Absolute BB. No, Kovac, what? What?
Completely blind at this point. Wants to try and mount some sort of offense towards the site, but it's the Pogmat that ends it. The alibi situation. It's like, oh, it's Pogmat was killed. But none of that matters, because 10 centimeter has completely put an end to this round instantly. What? Was that an instant ace? Did I read that right?
No.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Badass University All-Stars for this, a make-or-break moment for 2 teams. It is our lower bracket playoff final, and I'm Whippet, and joined beside me is the one, the only, the beautiful Cairo.
Beautiful. I don't know about that, but the Celtic connection back in action for Buin. Well, Whippet, we're back in towards the playoffs. We've seen players really battle it out, and well, Combat Wombats versus IOM, the lower bracket finals. We're finally here. We're almost going to guarantee our second finalist of the season 3.
I mean, how time flies. We're already in season 3, but it's been 2 weeks since I've been casting Buell, and my oh my, things have changed. The landscape of our group stage. When I left, teams like Triton were in the mix. They look strong. Remember, Team Triton, reigning defending champions coming into this, and of course, you already know the storyline if you've been following this, but I'm trying to catch myself up. I've missed a week and a half, and coming back into this, Team Triton didn't make our playoffs. Team 9 made a bit of a stealth run up to number 1 seed, and an absolute brilliant stormer through our playoffs as well. This has been an incredible playoff stage, a massive boon to the latter half of the groups for so many teams as well. I mean, this is exactly what you want to see. This is Siege at its finest. Teams presenting upsets and miracle runs at the end of the road. And, well, speaking of the end of the road, it will be the end of the road for one of these two teams today, as we're going to be seeing Imperium of Mandem versing the Combat Wombats in this, a do-or-die moment. Your victor, well, they take their place in the grand final. As the loser, well, their Season 3 ends right here, right now. And looking on paper, I can't even decide whose it's going to be.
No, without a doubt. It's really hard to decide, but, well, Whip It, we're casters, we need to pick a side. Me, I'm going with the Wombats. I need to take their side. I need to I mean, I've been kind of their, how'd you put it, their mascot all the way through this lower bracket. I've said, like, they're one of my dark horses, the way they've been going through. I've casted every single one of their matches, and I've even got to the point where I think it was Dicta messaged me saying Cairo caster buff, so, I mean, I've got to stay with them.
Okay. Well, since, let's just say for the side of competitiveness, I'll make a rivalry out of it, and I'll be backing Imperium of Mandem, who again, I mean, aren't a slouch of a team either. You know, you've been saying you've been giving the caster buff to the Wombats, but when you look at paper about how Imperium of Mandem have handled the group stage in particular, I mean, they've got 5 wins, 1 overtime victory, 3 losses, a very strong performance, finished second in the overall group stage standings, and, well, they've had a fantastic time so far, but they are in the lower bracket for a reason. They have suffered a loss, and that was at the hands of Team 9, who punched their ticket to the grand final earlier on this week. So it is do or die again for both these teams. One road to victory has to end now, and I mean, this is going to be so interesting, so tight, so competitive, and that's exactly what you want to love, or what you love to see.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is it. When it comes down to it, Whip It, two teams who have got a plethora of strategy, a plethora of mechanical ability, and, well, when that comes to it, we're hoping for a plethora of drama. And, well, Whip It, we need to introduce the players that will be doing the drama, who are really going to do battle in this matchup. I'll try and introduce these players for you and can give you a little update of how everybody's been playing and how everything's been going on. If we can...
I mean, you've been the voice to guide so many people through these playoffs, so you may as well introduce our 2 combatants for this matchup.
Yeah, well, so IOM, Jev, Scipio, Deathly, DG7, and Beng. We're missing a few key players. Yukio not being there. Angelix, that's going to be some key players missing out for IOM. That's just so unfortunate. And, well, such a key match, but, well, the Wombats, they are not missing much. Bjonk, Vrishan, otherwise known as 10 centimeters, Vulcanoid, Call Me Dicta, Weiwei. I mean, straight away, the 2 people that we're going to be pointing out, Call Me Dicta and Scipio. I mean, Whip It, you've casted Buell longer than me. You know these 2 players, and Call Me Dicta, this has just been her season for some reason. She has turned up for her team, leading by example.
Oh, I mean, through the season 2, Call Me Dicta was always a name. You'd seen the kill feed popping up, consistently strong performances. She was one of those star players. But here in season 3, particularly this latter half, it has been a stellar performance. And as you said, leading from the front, leading by example, and putting on a fantastic show. But be careful not to burn too bright, as this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a best of 3 with a lot on the line. And, well, speaking of it being a best of 3, perhaps we can get to see the maps we'll be bringing these gladiators to do. And I've got a little bit of a spoiler. I know where we're going. I think you do as well. I can tell you it is certainly going to be an exciting experience. We see our bands running out. We're going to be seeing Coastline Villa, the first to go, and coming out now, our very first pick. Drum roll for you sitting at home. It will be Clubhouse, followed up by Chalet, my favorite personal map in the pool right now. And we've got one more to go. It's a decider. I wonder what it could be. The greatest equalizer in all of Rainbow Six Siege, of course. It will be the one, the only. It's Oregon.
These bands all make sense. Coastline, we saw the Wombats absolutely smash Veggie Patch and, well, turn them into, I guess, a soup and what was left after that. And, well, Villa, I mean, IOM, although they got 7-0 yesterday on it, they are still very strong. It's nothing to be scoffed at the feet of Team 9 and what they did yesterday. Clubhouse and Chalet, 2 staples in these 2 teams' map pools. Cons and Cafe is another one where you're thinking to yourself, you're just banning out what the other team are good at with it. So, all in all, not surprised by these bans, and they all make complete sense for me.
I mean, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Again, you got to think about this. The stakes are really high for this matchup, so you don't want to take anything too daring. So going to somewhat staple maps, picking your choice, and going to something you're confident on is going to be the wisest choice to bring out. I mean, when just some of the numbers are looking at, of course, my stats are only going to come from the group stages. Things may have been different through the playoffs. They might have picked up more victories and more time on these maps. But so far, during the group stages, at least in Premier of Mandem have played twice. They got a victory against Team Triton 8-6, and they suffered a loss 5-7 to Team 9. I mean, when you look at that, no, they've picked this map. They've got a 50% win rate, and well, if you want to look at the glass half empty, they've got a 50% loss rate as well. So it's been a back and forth for them. And I mean, Clubhouse is a map everyone should know how to play, though. And that's kind of one of the things. It's a great equalizer. It's going to be the best team on the day. Will take that victory. Strategies are key, but being able to be consistent round after round and play everything to your strengths is really going to be the victor. And I mean, a similar storyline we moved to, of course, Chalet, the pick for the Combat Wombats. They played this twice as well. They suffered a loss to Poggy Woggies 6-8, and then they got a victory against our finalists, Team 9, 8-7. And we don't have to wait too much longer before we get to see Clubhouse in play as we're getting ready. So we shall run our lovely graphic, and well, this is it. The first map of a best of 3, a lower bracket decider, and while tensions couldn't be higher, of course the operator ban will be critical for this one. Will we see the standard Maverick? Will Thatcher slip through? Only time can tell, but not long to wait as here we go, and I couldn't be more ecstatic. It's time. Wombat's very first ban, and I wouldn't be too surprised if this is one of the most predictable ban phases you've seen all season.
Without a doubt here, Whippet. I mean, you don't want to, risk anything, but at the same time, though, high risk, high reward bans could potentially win out a matchup. But at the same time, I mean, Whippet, me and you, we watched the Mexico Major. We watched Team 1 try something like that when they banned out Smoke and Consulate, and well, I was like shooting ourselves in the foot. We saw Empire then absolutely smash them on Consulate. So at the same time, there's two stories, and well, Habana getting banned out. Nothing too crazy here. Whippet on the. I mean, I guess this match is worth £450 to whichever team wins it.
I mean, the Habana is just a little bit interesting because you normally see a Maverick going away at this stage, and again, the utility, the versatility of that torch that Maverick brings allows hatches, walls to crumble like they're paper, and Habana, again, super powerful operator. Any hard breach ban on a map like Clubhouse makes tremendous sense. It's a linear map in core design, meaning walls, hatches are massive high traffic areas that you need to open up to make sites viable, give lifelines of those long angles that you can fight with, especially considering the attacking side have that intrinsic advantage outrange with their more high-powered rifles. Kaid, Valkyrie making up the rest of the operators not making the cut. And again, you can't argue with this one. Thatcher goes, Kaid's obviously going to fall. When a Valkyrie, well, you were talking about the Mexico Major. How many times we see the Navy SEALs operator just not make the cut anymore? That information is so important. And in a far more aggressive climate, which we are in, having information, having eyes on your opposition really gives you an advantage. You know when to peek, when to pre-fire, and exactly what's going on. So a very smart ban moving out as well. Basement will be our very first site of choice.
Well, Whippet, I mean, the thing is, though, the Habana ban is going to try and keep this, well, these hatches closed, I should say, because there's multiple hatches on this map. I mean, you think about it, right? When it comes to Maverick, people have started being able to actually deal with them, and I don't know, I mean, I guess Habana is just much stronger, the fact that she can't be impact tricked anymore. So, with that being said, we do see us start on this bottom 4 site in Church and Arsenal. It's not as strong as what it used to be. I expect to see a much extended roam here from the Wombats to try and take it to IOM, try and really slow them down. But IOM, their tactics is they like to be procedural. They might like to go through the map, clear out. So whether it's just really a matter of who wins it out, is it going to be the roamers or the roam clear?
That will be a battle to keep your eye on. I really will very much emphasize that entry frag will be so important from the Imperium of Mandem. If they can find success in repeated rounds against roamers, and it looks like Vulcan will be taking up that mantle early, sitting in garage and way on support as well. Sending some rounds down range, nothing connects, just acting as somewhat of a deterrent, an early warning, perhaps saying, don't dare enter garage, I'm here lurking. Yellow ping was deployed, so I think they're very much aware that Vulcan's dropped an oil pit and recouped and recovered the rest of the team. An interesting decision to fall back so early. You only sent around half a magazine down towards a spawn, and now you're already back on site. Not the most ideal or efficient use of the gadget that Vigil does bring, but again, on a site like this, you can anchor up, you can play with 5 players on site and make a significant dent on the defense's progress. And Pyramand them starting to make their way towards it, and this is, again, keep your eye on it. I'm very unsure about this decision to play the Vigil downstairs. Again, the disruption that gadget will cause will make it difficult to exactly pinpoint what's going on. It could add some panic as these drones going into the kitchen will likely be detected or likely picked up from that, and that might give away some cover playing by the main stairs and perhaps put some caution in the mind of all the attackers trying to push through kitchen.
Yeah, this is it. Well, I mean, Jev on the other side of the map with the diffuser is something that, well, I mean, we are early in the round here, Whippet. That's something that we'll need to keep an eye on, obviously. The ace, but is Call Me Dicta picking up Deathly? That's the Maverick gone, that's your Heartbreach gone. And remember, when it comes to hatches, well, he's the only one that can guarantee the opening. I mean, the ace, I guess he could maybe ace trick a hatch, but that's 2 Selma charges gone if you do have to get that kitchen hatch open, which they will need to do if they want this push to work. And well, that can be impact tricked very easily.
That might just be the tail of the tape for this one. Now the hatch is going to be a very high traffic area, impact tripped away, grenades tossed out for cover, it will be opened up, and this looks like a hard commit for a dirt and kitchen hatch execution. An invert repel tries to find an angle upstairs, that's going to be Jeff Diffuser in hand, but nothing's lining up, nothing's presenting them with an opportunity. The Wombat just playing so reserved and passive, knowing they can let the clock do the work. Every second ticks away, and that puts pressure on the attacking side. IOM need to have something up their sleeve. They need to make something happen now. As Dicta lies in wait, she can strike to the heart of the opposition and find some chaos in this dirt tunnel. Sees the moment to strike, can't find 1 or 2. DJ7 with that SMG-11 might be the impact they need, and this is the lifeline 4 versus 4, and with 35 seconds left to go, it'll only take 1 headshot to spark open this round, and that Gemini replicator gives away Bajonk's position.
Bjoink obviously in towards blue, just holding down where the dirt tunnel's coming from, but Whippet, have we got the hatch open? Can these players drop? Weiwei is watching from the Ash Rush area, and well, these players are all in one, and we start to see the push come through as Beng has managed to come in through blue.
A flurry of kills and explosion. The Fino Weiwei with a pistol collects the final one there. Superb display. It collapsed in the last second, arriving, and well, we've seen it so many times in all levels of Siege. That final second collapse of desperation, well, it rarely ends in success, and a prime example of that is Wombats claiming their very first defensive round here on Clubhouse.
Yeah, that is the first 6th round for the Wombats coming through there, and well, we move to CCTV and Cash, a flurry of kills, and I mean, defenders maybe counting their lucky chickens at the end of that Whippet, because IOM just seemed to manage to catch players off guard with the way that they're coming in there, the way that we're picking up those frags, and well, lucky enough, the Wombats were able to take them out, and interestingly enough, Smoke being actually sicked off of for a Frost. Yes, the Frost is a strong operator, but surely you're thinking to yourself, Smoke, the absolute staple?
This is peculiar, to say the very least, about this decision. Again, on a site like this, Smoke, as you mentioned, is a staple. It's been around since the inception of Siege. You want to Smoke, you deny that plant. It has so much control, can cover so much ground, and to take that out of a lineup for a Frost is a daring endeavour, to say the least. But again, the Wombats are a strong side, and let's see what they have planned. Those Pog mats so far in the playoffs have provided at least some moments. I'm sure if you follow our socials, which you very much should do, you've seen some moments for that.
Yes, certainly, and well, with this round coming up, we'll be expecting the usuals here with it. Nothing too crazy. I'll be clearing out towards rafters, getting that main breach open. Maybe we'll see some action on towards that 51 window, the one right next to the server rack there that we see. Lots of grenades usually fly through there to maybe get rid of bandit batteries or mute jammers, whatever is on those. But no, it's actually going to be a Maverick trick coming through here. I mean, that's probably should have been expected from myself, considering he is on the board, and well, this is something that we tend to see pretty often. It seems as if DJ7 is having a bit of trouble there, but yes, this will get open preemptively, and I imagine there will be a spray from the player on repel for anybody waiting who's trying to maybe catch a player or two off guard.
Interesting to see the left-hand side panel being the one opened up. If you were watching the Mexico Major, you saw that all the players that were on that Maverick opted to open up that right-hand side panel to give a better line of sight to force and take the fight to Rafters. With this panel being opened up, well, Rafters has free real estate. That's going to be a trade-off, though, 1-for-1. Scipio gets, well, I'm just going to have to say 10 centimeters. That name is just, I love it. It's one of the best names I've seen in a long time, but the Frost lied and wait, got the kill. Bye-bye Maverick. Say goodbye those 2 grenades as well, but the trade-off was there. But so it's back to my point, that panel being opened up gives Call Me Dig a lot of cover up on Rafters. They don't need to worry about a lot of pressure being mounted from that open breach, and well, considering now that one player already over there has been felled, it might give an opportunity to play a little bit more aggressively and freely on top of Rafters, taking some damage though, left on half HP. 2 ADS is still to cover her, so not going to be too hard, not going to be too easy to displace her. Proximity sensors getting removed as well, not going to give anyone that early warning of an approaching doom. Minute left in this round, and DJ7 trying to find a way in. Scipio creeping on into the main doorway, still looking to clear off that Rafters, holding that power position. The yellow pings are accurate and giving away the position of Dicta. Wavy is going to find one to Jev, and that's going to grow the advantage for the defensive side. The Wombats down to 4 versus 3 and 50 seconds left to go, and whoa! Scipio nearly mistimed the exit there, but lucky enough, escaped life in tow. Grenade or diffuser re-picked up, and an effort to push in, clear Rafters. Proximity alarm goes off towards Beer, and that's going to be bang in a very tricky position. Another one spotted, so much utility to clear, so much proximity being alerted, and well, oh, what a shot there! And that might be the opening. Rafters falls, and we can already see the swarm of attackers, but down below, Vulcanoid finds one, and instantly stomps out that potential fire in seconds only after it sparked up.
Without a doubt, like the Undertaker reaching up and pulling players down into the dirt. But look at this, everyone's fallen and it's all been left up to Bang, and there's only 10 seconds remaining. Has to push up towards Rafters area, but remember, plenty of outlines, leaving that diffuser on the floor, deciding to go for frags. Only 4 seconds remain, and well, we see the confirmation there. DJ7 actually getting caught off guard by a Frostmat, not leaving his comrade enough time to pick him up. IOM, they did the good things there, Whippet, but well, they left it far too late. Wombats take 2 and move towards the tertiary site of Gym and Bedroom. And remember, well, Gym and Bedroom statistically in favour of these attackers. IOM are expected to win this one out, especially, well, from what we've seen so far, it has slowly kind of went towards the old meta, the 20-second meta, where it's taken these attackers longer to actually execute onto the site. So with that being said, will it take IOM too long to execute onto this site, or will we see them actually take it?
I mean, an interesting thing just to look at so far in the tournament, we've seen that Clubhouse has been an attacker side of map. It's a 52% win rate for that side, and well, Wombats are somewhat going against the grain, finding themselves 2 rounds up, but early days. It's the best of 3. We've only seen 2 rounds, and perhaps it's too early to say, but you kind of, this is your team. You want Wombats to win. So, I'm going to have to say, you know, Imperial Man, then we've got to step this up. We've got to get some more pace. So seconds are ticking away too quickly. You've got to get in. You've got to clear that roam. You've got to get that real estate established quicker. And well, this site might be the perfect opportunity to do so. One wall separates them from direct access into the objective. They will have to put up a fight to clear off towards cache and server. That will be a tricky one indeed. Mirror windows of Dicta aren't going to make that job any easier. Lots of openings, a lot of established positions. And well, they might be walking into a Jaeger very early in this round if that setup is established, but it looks like he's going to fall back and play a little bit more reserved as utility still being deployed down towards that construction area.
Well, I mean, it really is a key place. What we tend to see from attackers here, Whippet, is they like to come and try and put some sort of pressure, or put something in towards this kind of servers area, because, well, this key position essentially can deny the full of the balcony out towards Master. If you think about it, if you just put one player on to watch that window, just to make sure that no one can kind of do anything with that balcony, maybe catch a few players off guard while they're putting pressure in towards the site, well then, I mean, fair enough, that's a well played position. Vulcanoid obviously has kind of almost fell into the pressure that's been created by Jev on the ace. Was obviously a wasted Selma charge on a kind of soft wall, but all in all, so far, IOM have done the right thing in leaving one player over there, but they have left the diffuser with them. So that's the question that I pose is, well, who's going to watch that window when the rotate has to come through for the diffuser?
This is a dangerous decision to leave the diffuser so far away. It is your primary win condition, and it looks like perhaps they've skipped a step here. They've left with the panel still to open. And Weiwei might get aggressive. UMP primed and ready, and it doesn't take more than one shot. DJ7's first to fall. Now what a way to, well, pot up your life insurance premium with that one. A grenade from down below does not enough to kill her down, but that mirror window will now be popped open and a line of sight established. But Weiwei can just sit reasonably comfortable still and just try and pick a fight. As that, well, definitely might be a easy pickings if he finds the perfect shot to line up and still has some good cover to do so. Definitely doesn't even have a way in yet. He has to waste more ammunition and utility, and that jammer will choke out that drone, forcing information to arrive at a premium. We see that now the ace is rotated over, but again, met by this problem, they skipped a step. They haven't established this wall to be open from that sledge, and now they've found to do so. But look at the time, 45 seconds, and already it's gonna be a last gasp ditch to get into the site. The UMP rattles off in the distance, and while Weiwei collects a second in this round, the advantage now of 5 versus 3, and the main stairs rush is gonna likely get caught by the vector of Call Me Dicta. This is an absolute disaster around for IOM, and they're about to walk into their demise, only seconds away, and you can feel the tension. You know exactly what's about to happen, and Scipio gets aggressive, a grenade tossed out, tries to push on in, and there's gonna be the cover from Island. 2 for Jaeger, Weiwei gets a third, and a flawless round.
This is IOM's map pick, Whippet. This was the map that IOM decided to pick and say, right, this is the one we win, and then we move on and look towards that third map. Wombats are 3-0 up on your pick, IOM, and you have shown us nothing but, well, waiting around, waiting for things to happen. Take the initiative, go forward, do something with it. You're missing key steps. And, well, when that's happening, you leave a large gap for Wombats to take, well, I guess a massive advantage. But the thing is, though, Whippet, we did see this happen before. Veggie Patch, they were 3-0 down after their opponents, IOM, were fairly strong, but then they started to answer back. So IOM, now that they have seen the first 3 sites of Wombats, they know the setup, they know how they like to play, so now they can potentially do things better. But honestly, if I was to say anything from this and the way things are going, is they're missing, IOM look as if they're missing some sort of IGL presence potentially with how late they're making their pushes.
I don't think I could agree any more with this. There's someone needs to take control, take charge of these situations and really command them. Start playing at RTS if you need to, because they seem disjointed, they seem uncoordinated and lacking that overall vision that you see teams when they're thriving. That round, a perfect example. They lost the sledge from a very good opening from Weiwei, of course, but they didn't have that wall prepped and ready. They had to wait, that wasted time, and by the time they had that cracked open, they had 45 seconds to work with. Any team can struggle or will struggle to make a last gasp execute with such little time and resources to work with, and well, you can almost feel that tension. They were waiting to push up that main stairs like they were getting ready to storm the beaches of Omaha. This was just, it was always going to be a loss for IOM in that situation. Can they turn it around though? As we're now resetting back downstairs to the basement we go, and Dicta just looks so aggressive and so confident to play right beside that opening, right beside that reinforced wall, waiting for Maverick to get daring enough to open up. And it's odd to describe this as daring, considering this is normally safe, but so far, Dicta's made every corner of this map a nightmare.
This is it. See, when you have a team playing with such confidence as the Wombats, right? Let's look at it from this perspective, Whippet. IOM have lost 2 maps, right, towards 9 already. So they're coming into this with maybe a little bit of trepidation, maybe thinking to themselves, right, we're not playing as well as we did last time, so let's try and fix this up. Whereas Wombats, they have absolutely no problem. I mean, look at that. Call Me Dicta gets taken out, but trades herself out. And now the rest of the team know exactly where the push is coming from IOM, and they're all starting to react.
It's going to be an explosion yet again. Definitely finds a way, but he trades off for Scipio, and it's going to be a 3 versus 3. But look at the top. We got a whole lot more time to work with, and this real estate begins to crumble. The Maestro looks primed and ready to make that all the... I'm going to have to say it. No, I'll save it for later, as we now sit ourselves 1 minute 25 to work with, and they're still trying to get some verticality opened up. Definitely, seemingly the most advanced, waiting for the Ash to creep down secret. A grenade tossed, and that's your Maestro downed. The information, of course, not known or being relayed. They have no points on, but that's going to be a wonderful shot. Definitely falls, and this has made a whole mess of this round. They don't know they have a Maestro on 20 HP, and they now have to walk into the unknown jaws of what could be 81 rounds of hurt. They've got a minute to work with, so plenty of time to make adjustments and make a change, but they only have 2 guns to do so. Someone will have to cover for this plant. The option is there. They've opened up the Ash Rush. Canadian spot is there. It's going to be a flurry of shots, but the Ash gets the opening. DJ7 clamped and ready to try and get this diffuser down, but that's going to be the Jaeger once again being a pain in the side. DJ7 gets that trade-off now, bring it to 1 versus 1. 10 centimeters to Maestro with 20 HP, previously down by that grenade of Maverick, and that plant's going to go down. The sound cue is there. He's trying to do his best impression of Hot and Cold on low HP with the Maestro, sending some shots down range. It's a game of cat and mouse. Who will blink first? And with 25 seconds left to go, the defense sitting pretty, holding on, burning out time with that impact grenade, chipping away some damage as well, crossing forward into the hallway and waiting, as that timer is going to be the most key vital resource available to either team. 12 seconds, 10 seconds, the plants go down. Will he stick it? He's going to look for it. I think he is. No, he pulls off the last second, but 000 is dawning. He's going to commit. He goes all the way around, but no, his position is red, and that LMG does not miss, and that's a round once again for the Combat Wombats.
The Maestro coming in clutch there, whip it 10 centimeters coming, and well, playing it almost perfectly, baiting back and forth with DJ7, and well, maybe he should have just stuck it. Maybe he should have just kept defusing, and well, if he'd done that, maybe he'd confirmed the 45-second timer. The onus is all on the Maestro. He's got to push DJ7, he's got to push the Ace, and well, I said it before, I'll say it again, it looks as if IOM have shot themselves in the foot. 4 rounds in favour of the Wombats, and this time they may have baited with a castle, but surely IOM will know, with the way sites have been getting rotated, that well, the castle isn't really going to be much worth here. They have went for the smoke. Again, we've talked about it before, staple in the operator lineup for CCTV and Cash. All in all, the way the Wombats are playing right now, it seems as if everything's going their way, and I'm going to use another cliche that I used before. Sometimes, as a champion, you need 3 things. You need skill, you need strategy, and sometimes you just need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, okay, I agree. I do also want to say one thing, Cairo. You have the caster buff, allegedly,
yeah,
so far, and I have a bit of a habit of putting the caster curse on the team. So I do apologize if this ends up being a dominant performance, Raiwan. I am your scapegoat. You can use that as an excuse. You don't need to bear any of the burden of if you don't have a successful clubhouse. Blame me for it. I'll take full responsibility for that one. Because the buff Cairo provides just seem really too strong.
That's it, mate. I've just been going to the gym, you know what I mean? Making sure that the Combat Wombats do get through.
You're bench pressing for all of them, I can imagine.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
Yeah, you're giving them strength, power. They can't be beaten with you on the mic, and well, so far it does seem that way. It's 4 rounds, all in favor of the defensive side of the Combat Wombats, and IOM have. I said Wombat, like. Don't even want to go. Yep, of course. I haven't cast it in 2 weeks, and you can tell. But IOM, they are playing disjointed. This isn't them. It feels out of character. They're slow, sluggish, and they're just struggling to get off the blocks. This might change now. They've got the wall open. They haven't suffered a casualty trying to do so. But that grenade's going to be able to remove that shield, and I was very worried. That shield persisted. I was expecting that carbine to send off a single shot down range and for someone's head to explode, but nonetheless, minute 45 left to go. The first ticks on that checklist have been established, but they need to get a move on. They need to clear the rest of the map. They need to get this execution rolling, whether that's pushing from rafters, which doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like they're looking for that Logi entrance, and that might be a difficult task considering they have a mute waiting in construction, and that SMG-11 doesn't leave many prisoners.
Well, right now, I mean, IOM seem to be prisoners in this matchup. Vulcanoid all the way through in towards Strip, and again with it, what's the key sign of this round? IOM stalling out. A minute and 15, a minute and 10 now. And well, they haven't even attempted in towards Rafters. Maybe I've just read into this wrong, and it is actually going to be the back of site push, but I still don't feel as if they've done enough to be on the minute mark. They're not put pressure in towards site. They have gained, like, obviously information, but they've not even tried to dislodge the utility on towards the construction wall. Right now, again, more time is being wasted. They are finally starting to spray bullets in towards the site. A C4 gets wasted, but all in all, this round still is looking to go in favour of the Wombats.
I mean, they have those smoke canisters now. They can waste 30 seconds. One's been dispensed, and well, we hit that 30-second mark, so they're going to be left with very little time to work with, and even less guns to do so. As Dicta finds the opening kill this round, Deathly's first to fall, and that second canister chokes out this push. Scipio gets aggressive and meets their maker. Wavy downs Jeb as well, looks for a third, and finds it! Oh my! Mute's going insane, and now it's a 1v5. Make it over! It's a flawless round. The Wombats are on a tear. They look unstoppable.
They look absolutely unbeatable in Germany here in Clubhouse. 5-0. This isn't even... If we go back to the old meta here, Whippet, 20 seconds, this would be absolutely crazy. But considering right now in the current meta, where, as you've already said, the attackers are favoured. What is IOM doing? They just seem lethargic. They just seem as if they're not the old IOM that we know. And well, with the Wombats 5-0 up here, I'm starting to think to myself that the tie might already be over for this particular map.
This map is going to take, well, it's going to take a miracle. You're 5 rounds down, and to not repeat myself too much, Clubhouse so far in this league, in this competition, has an attacking win rate of 51.5%. This is a very, very kind of equal map. You shouldn't see the defense dominate like this. It's been so long since even in T1 we've seen the defensive domination like this. And the Wombats, 2 flawless rounds to their name. They've looked just impenetrable. They've looked difficult to break down. And when the opportunity arises, and Prima Van them seemingly just can't pounce upon it. They aren't taking their chances. They aren't making those gambles. And sometimes it might be too risky. It might be difficult, but someone must grab this team by the scruff of the neck and say, okay, we're 5 rounds down. Let's get aggressive. Let's try something new. Let's bring out a different strategy. The bleeding edge stuff in the back of the strap book. Let's try and make something happen. Go unorthodox. Anything. Because right now, what you've got just isn't working.
Well, Whippet, they need one more round, and well, they have a little breathing room moving into the next half. One more round is all it takes, but I mean, it's a harder task than just saying win this round, win it out. Statistically, as I've already said, this is in favour of the attackers. IOM should win this out, but well, Whippet, if there's anything to go by with the way that they've played, finally, they have actually done one of the right things here. They've actually preemptively opened up that wall for the Maverick trick to come through. But, well, the wall did get open last time, and it still didn't bode well for them.
Yeah, they got the wall open eventually. It did take a lot of time, and I think that might be the biggest kind of asterisk to that round, that situation we saw last time out. It looks like, again, just look at the confidence right now. They're just going, alright, I'm just going to like peer out, peek, and just get ready to find some damage, cause some chaos. This is just confidence to another level. Takes a little bit of damage, loses around 24 HP for the efforts, but again, they're playing so confidently, I don't think that's going to change the way these fights are taken. Opening up a vertical angle down below as well, and remanning that mirror window. This setup is so strong right now from Wombats, and IOM are taking so much time to get through this checklist. Yeah, I mean, this Maverick example is a perfect one of it. With a minute 15 now to go, they open this up, but they're facing a mirror window in bathroom, which will be a difficult to clear. Scipio down below will likely send that grenade up and use that opening to pop that window and give an opening. That already has occurred as well. So Weiwei, who found 2 kills from this position previously, looks to replicate that magic. A minute left to work with the proximity alarm off in the distance, unknown of that source for right now. But the UMP once again finds the player on the rappel. Or is this going to be a Groundhog Day? A repeat once again as a Maverick like somewhat dumbfounded, not knowing what to do, has no response, and time drains away. Scipio gets one back, however, so that might be a lifeline for IOM, as DJ7 has an angle now that peering through Jim. That second castle barrier hasn't been open, but Scipio looks to get aggressive and peer on up. But Railway gets aggressive, but Scipio's there for the trade. A 3 versus 3. DJ7 has that diffuser primed and ready to vault on in the side of Jim, but is that getting covered? Scipio inside the bathroom in a great position to lock out and hold control, but doesn't last long at all. The vault in the Gym is there, but does he drop down the hatch? I don't believe he did. No, I think he stayed up. No, he did! Oh no! Drops down the hatch, forced to retake that ground. Now in a 3 versus 1, ascends the stairs, and that's going to be the Vector waiting at the hands of Dicta as she slays out and claims yet another round for the Combat Wombats. That is 6 in a row. Let me repeat that for you all at home. 6 rounds in a row.
Well, Whippet, I was actually about to ask Science if he could bring up the scoreboard after that round, just so we could actually sit down and have a chat about how these players are playing. I think 10 centimeters somehow found his way onto the wrong side, but, well,
Okay.
Look towards Weiwei. Look towards his kills and deaths, Whippet. He has a 14 and 2. He has a KD of 7.0 in this game so far. 7.0.
Yep.
Kills per round. He's guaranteed to get 2 kills and bring IOM down to 3 men. That's a guarantee so far in this match. He has got 2 kills per round.
This has been one of the most stellar and dominant performances I have ever witnessed. I mean, just to give you a little bit of a reference, on the 28th of August, these teams met in the group stages. They went head-to-head, and IOM were the victors. 7-4 on Villa. They took the victory in regulation. And this is a different team, of course. Yes, they have a sub. Jev is subbing, and that's a caveat to add that perhaps we haven't mentioned too thoroughly so far. But even then, this is a team that looks out of shape, out of form, and almost as sluggish as Haas Zandvoort.
But the thing is, though, Whippet, right, with this being the case, I want to just say this, right? We're focusing on IOM and how they're being sluggish and how they're not doing things right, but on top of that, I mean, Wombats have punched them at every opportunity. IOM put a foot out of line and they just get absolutely riddled with bullets, taken out. Everything that they're doing is good stuff. It's not as if we're saying like the Wombats are getting lucky or anything. I have to say that, I mean, they're playing it almost perfectly.
I think perfect is just such a way to put it. I mean, everything that IOM have thrown at them, they've had an answer. From aggressive plays to attempted trades, Scipio being in a very advanced position that previous round, they've just had the answer. Whether it was from strategy or gun skill, they've always went, we can do one better. And the scoreline, I think, is a true reflective of that. I mean, IOM, they have a good defensive setup. I like what they're bringing, the use of Saria Gates, a Rooney getting brought out for the first time in this series, but how much of an impact is that going to have when the Wombats have this level of confidence? Things might change, though, as this map can be very weighted to either side. And I mean, if we see a defensive-sided map, this might be an interesting potential comeback for IOM, as they seemingly are taking no risks whatsoever. They don't want to give a single pixel to shoot at, and the Wombats haven't found any, well, entryways just quite yet. The wall's been opened up, a rough opening, but it's enough to walk on through. Jev takes some damage from that opening in the hatch, and this is going to make Rafters a horrible place to hold now, sitting under 25 HP. Position known, compromised, and likely this fight's going to be direct and taken. Ash just walks on up and away, finds it. No resistance, no covery from Oil Pit or from Kegs. It is just going to be a massacre. The site's been split, Saria Gate not burnt, but the opening's been made. And now Weiwei can control the ebb and flow, can lock down rotations, and this might just be a feeding frenzy for the Wombats. Gate's being burnt away. Down below, that is a single blue silhouette. You see 2, actually. And C4 might be a factor down below, but Weiwei finds a second and advances on the side. This march seemingly cannot be stopped, but have they read the verticality? They have lots of time to do so, and make it a 5 versus 2. Everything's collapsing from the Imperium of Mandem, but DJ7 hasn't given up the ghost. Finds one the way away, and this won't be an easy round to recover, but certainly not an impossible task.
Certainly not impossible yet. Obviously, we see the Ace trying to open up on towards the default spot here with it, and well, these players are going to have to clutch this out. This C4 from DG7 is going to be absolutely pivotal if he can actually get it off and will stop the defuse. And well, here we go. The 7-second timer has gone through. The C4 has missed, and the one in pocket has been dropped. 10 centimeters, dropping down with a pistol. Wins it out for the Wombats on IOM's pick. 7-0. Flawless victory. The closest we came to an IOM win was a 1 versus 1 clutch with DG7 versus 10 centimeters. What a match! We 16-3.
I'm almost at a loss for words. Perhaps we should considering nerfing the Cairo buff. It might have too much of an advantage, but 7-0 in the lower bracket playoff. This is the run. This decides whether you advance to the final or go home. Your season can end right here, right now. And if we remind them, well, they haven't put up any resistance at all. Map 1 goes in a very, very convincing fashion. I think even saying very, very convincing doesn't do it justice. The Wombats have played it superb and almost absolutely perfect. I mean, 7-0 victory. What more is there to say?
There really isn't, and I mean, we could try and analyse and digest everything about that map, but I mean, the key factors would definitely be Combat Wombats really not putting a foot out of line, playing that almost perfectly. We can't say any team plays it perfect, because come on, let's be honest with it, it's Siege, people will make mistakes,
oh yeah,
but certainly came close to it, and IOM just sluggish, lethargic, all sorts of adjectives can be used in similar vein to that. Well, we move on to Chalet next, the French Alps, and well, that's the Combat Wombats pick. As you've said, they've only been beat once, and it was, well, I'm going to call it here, it was a throw in the main season whip. 7 rounds they lost in a row on Chalet, but can IOM bounce back into this? Well, I guess the one that decides the finalist. Well, we'll be back in 5 minutes to get into that next map and decide if maybe this next map is where we say goodbye to IOM.
Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here, so come home. Why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold. It got me stone cold. You got me stone cold.
find for sure. Reich's going to get the trade back onto Proctor. It's 3 versus 2 now. Luden's desperately trying to get onto that site, but no! Reich's going to shut it all down! Full pin on that nade. He's going to throw it out, but no! Proctor's going to take him out. Try swinging it and see if he can find anything, and he is going to swing, and he's going to find 2!
Just looking the wrong way, right? Continues his rampage. Make it 4. Can he find the ace? He looks towards the door. Can he find the last 2? He looks to he flicks, and it's an ace!
All of those bullets, and the C4 is going to come out, and it's going to, well, clean up that round. When you know how aggressive Team 9 are playing. Save Tsunami, sorry, Brendan's live there for a second, and Brendan's going to find a second, and a third, but no! Zippy's going to walk on in.
This could be a throw here, DJ7. Identifies with the player as Stepsy. Wins out that 1 versus 1! But no! I was definitely not.
Can I go back to it? You just it did. But listen, okay. Pretend it
Well,
didn't happen.
wait a minute. We'll go.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Where's
No,
Noah? Can we get the cameras back? Can we do that thing again? We just all start going back in time. Oh,
Yeah,
there we are.
there we
Right.
go.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the Buell Season 3 playoffs. Welcome back to the lower bracket finals where we are watching IOM versus Combat Wombats. Well, I mean, is it really IOM versus Combat Wombats? It's more Combat Wombats. Just that's it. Because it seems to be their match.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. Again, if you're only joining us here, you've missed our opening map. It was a 7-0 victory for the Combat Wombats on Clubhouse, which, as Cairo mentioned, was the map pick of IOM. That was, I think, as close to perfection as Siege can get played was a perfect example of that one. The Wombats had an answer for everything, whether they met them head-on with gunfights or their strategy was just too strong. They were able to control and just have a complete domination over the flow of Clubhouse. And, well, they grab the victory. They get that 1 pip at the top of the screen, meaning they're a single map away from booking their ticket in our grand final against Team 9. But the road is not over for IOM just yet. They've got 1 more map that they can try and claw this one back to, and it's going to be Chalet. The map choice, of course, now of Combat Wombats. So this is going to be an interesting one. And again, as I mentioned, the Wombats, they chose this map, and their record during the group stage so far has been, well, they've lost it once and won it once. So a 50% win rate, similar to how it was for Clubhouse for IOM stats during our group stage. So up in the air so far. Of course, my stats are a little bit outdated. So, I mean, they might have played it more in the playoffs so far. I just don't have that recorded in my notebook ahead of me.
Yeah. Well, I definitely will say this. If we're heading to Chalet and IOM haven't prepped for Chalet, this is a Combat Wombat win, in my opinion, Whippet. Just with the way that, I mean, the Wombats play it, they seem to have two attacks for every single site. They're procedural, they know what they have to do. It seems as if every player is like a regimented soldier in a way, and well, with that being the case, well, I can really see this going in favour of the Combat Wombats, as they probably will be starting on the attack on Chalet as it is their map pick. IOM get to pick the sides in that case. they really need this lifeline. They really need to win this one out. IOM, of course, that I am talking about. Well, Whip It, on their Twitter account, IOMC, they were the verified third of Season 2, and at the moment, they look as if they're going to be the third place team for Season 3 as well.
Yeah, they haven't found their footing in this series, and if they can do that now on Chalet, they can set themselves up for a bit of a better chance to be able to claw some progress back.
Well, we are just waiting to get through.
This is a nice
into
helicopter. This is a
I
nice
love-
little bird.
Yeah, well, see the thing is, right, see the thing, right, who has built this chalet? Right, we just see the valley, like, in the background. How like, far have they had to climb to get to this chalet? It must be absolutely, like, up in the heavens.
Well, this is clearly just this is the Drip Mansion. This is actually like I mean this is where this is where you go to host an in studio production. That's where you go.
Yeah. This is so that it's been leaked, guys. This is where Bull Season 4 production is going to be held from.
We're actually we're going to Chalet from the game. That's correct. I know they made Chalet into a real thing. We're going there.
Yeah.
But we digress, of course. We're going to our operator bands, and no surprise, it's going to be Thatcher first one to go. Wave bye-bye the mic, as we're so used to seeing. As the second operator going to be saying goodbye is Flores, the Argentinian attacker, brings so much utility and oppressive utility as well. Those Rotara drones are just so insane at clearing utility, so getting them rid of now is much easier than having to shoot those pesky things in the round or rely for mutant mods to do their work. Defender-wise, it's pretty open, but expect a Kaiden, a Valkyrie, as they beat me to it, as that information is such a vital source for many teams. So we're going to be waving goodbye. And is Ember Rise allowed? I don't think so. Not too sure. Don't quote me on that one.
Well, Whip It, this is what I've just seen something in the old chat that is lighting my face up. And maybe
Okay.
I don't know if you caught it as well, but we have had a substitution in this game. It's not the same 5 who played the last map for IOM. I just seen Cute Dot Machine pop up in all chat, and well, if he's in the server, that is a boost to any roster, no matter who is playing. The Wombats may not actually win out Chalet, depending on how this one goes. I do believe it is Jev that has stepped out for Cute Machine. That is Angelix, the ex-Yukon 2 player. Whip It, this might mean we have a game on our hands.
It very much will as well. I mean, one player change is, on paper, shouldn't make a significant difference. If Wombats are still playing to that well-regimented style that we saw in Clubhouse, they're still going to be very dominant on here. But you did say that Angelica is pretty strong, pretty good, being able to go pew-pew and send some people to the Shadow Realm, so, it might change things up. I do want to go back and just look at a little bit of our stats and how it fares up attacking and defensive sided. So it is going to be a 43.5% attacking win rate. So that of course leads the defense holding strong with 56.5 themselves, meaning right now inside of you it is going to be defender sided. How will that play out? Is some oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was actually Ember Rice. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I would say, credit to Scipio, has the eyesight to see Ember Rice. Even with the teammate outlines, that's a pesky job to do. It's not Villa. They might be able to do it, but I mean, well done. I mean, if you're able to see Ember Rise, you might be able to be that Hawkeye player that can find a shot from a million miles away. You never know how that might pan out, but unfortunate casualty early in this round, leaving IOM already suffering a casualty. 5 versus 4, and this round will play out, of course. Had to be done.
Just right. Well, enough of that. Much
I mean,
to
if
Jerry.
the T-Hunt bots can see Ember Rise, so should you. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Well, much to Jerry's dismay, we do see that the shield has reinforced the key position on towards Piano here, Whip It, so that'll be good for IOM. If they want to hold down this position as well, most of the time we do see a player moving towards them. Put some pressure in, and Call Me Dicta has, well, pressed issue, twisted the knife, put salt in the wound, whatever you want to say is, Scipio does get taken out. A great way to shut down the roam, and well, that leaves 3 remaining players. Sorry, make that 2 as Beng is on the roam. That means 2 players on site, which, I mean, against 5 from the Wombats could easily be manipulated here.
This is going to look like a very dominant display from the Wombats, of course. 5 versus 3. They've got more guns available to them, but we have to have that little bit of an asterisk. Cute Machine did have Ember Rise and had to be executed for their sins. A minute 30 remains, and well, the Wombats are going to grow their advantage. Way is going to get that M67 to detonate right to the feet of DJ7. Throw that now to 5 versus 2. Bang looks for some action down towards double door, but nothing's going to present themselves just yet. No pixels to shoot at. Definitely great position. Has that shield and angle again. Can fight down towards box. But this just won't be an easy task. I can already feel a bit of a deflating feeling from the side of IOM. This round seems somewhat be null and void. Definitely takes a mess of damage from double door. His ADS is getting burnt away, and the shield recover won't last too much longer. The plant's going down, as Dick is going to get that F2 to sing and make it a double act, because that's going to be definitely the follow it up. And a wonderful display and execution from the Wombats. But again, not to sound too repetitive, I'll add the asterisks. We did have the Cute Machine executed for Ember Rise, which is fitting. I think fitting.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well,
I am an Ember Rise main myself, so I do understand the
I mean, comp just hates you, Whippet. It's just oppressing you.
Yeah, it really. I mean, how can I shoot back now? I've got.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when they add the outlines to people in ranked, I'm gonna lose my caster perms. I'm gonna lose that neutral KD because I can't shoot back. I need my Ember Rise. I need all the advantages I can get. So, I mean, this might be the end of me. I'm gonna lose my caster privilege next season.
Well, I mean, I'll put in a good word with Pika. I'll make sure that you can come back. Right? Okay. You don't need to worry. I'll put our arm around you and make sure.
The application says a 1.0 KD at minimum, and I'm just scraping by with that.
Wait, did it?
Did you not read the fine print?
Oh, I didn't provide. I didn't provide.
Oh no. You've been caught for that one. I was actually sent in to get the truth from you, Cairo, and well.
Oh, I've been caught. It's all a ploy. Season. This isn't the lower bracket finals. This is just players playing in other people's accounts.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And I think we should just call it there. We'll move on very promptly.
Oh yes. We'll get very rapidly on now as we see a full 5-man Implement Panda. Cute Machine not wielding on the Legion this time. Brings out the Melusi. Default camo in stow as well. I mean, so far we haven't got a lot to go on. The first round I'm going to just kind of scrape that off the board, but Dicta's just going to pick up where she left off. Finds another kill. The F2 sings, the body hits the ground, and Scipio is first to fall. No more Legion, no more Goo Mines, and even an apology in the all chat. Dicta must have done them dirty for that to come out. And once again, IOM find themselves 5 versus 4 very early on.
This is something I want to point out with how the Wombats play, right? They're clearing out so well. Like, they're just checking all the spots, clearing out the roamers, and then something that they do, right, is something that I like. They gain all the map control, right, and then with that they confirm and go on towards the balcony pressure and do a lot of damage. But as I say that, the player that usually goes out to do all the damage from the balcony, not on towards Fluke balcony, sorry, on towards bathroom balcony, is Vulcanoid, and finally we see her being dealt with. That's a huge pick because that allows the piano player to persist, and it also means that the player in towards the rotate won't get picked off. I can't understate that enough. That could be huge for IOM to continue in this round, but as I say that, Dicta does her thing.
I mean, once again, we're just seeing Dicta be dominant. She cannot be stopped. F2 in hand, 5-0, and only 2 more potential victims alive on the server right now. DJ7 down below, and we see Bang upstairs trying to hold on to what real estate is still available. The plant's going down, and that might just ring the dinner bells. C4 detonates, but that will catch way, not the junk. That's going to be the plant down, so a critical moment in this round. 40 seconds till we'll have to call it quits no matter what. And, well, tries to hold on, looks for an angle, pipe in the corner, can't find anything, and DJ7, a massive damage done, and left in DVNO with down to a 1 versus 3, and this is surely going to be an insurmountable task. 25 seconds to do so, and if I were a betting man, I would say this is going to be yet another round for Combat Wombat. If it does fall, loses that flawless KD, there might be a chance, an opening for some very last second heroic pistol in hand. Oh wow, oh my! It's on! If he's quick enough, he can get there, but no! No, the M4 is just going to be able to put an end to hopes and dreams. No counter defuse in near future as the Wombats claim a second round, but a much closer margin for that one.
Much closer indeed, and well, Whippet, we actually see IOM have a little bit of life, but on the same sort of hand, if we look towards Club, we did see some signs of life that were quickly stamped out by the Wombats when they were on the defense. Right now, they're on the attack, and they are going to have to attack Bard Gaming as IOM look to switch this up. But the key thing about this site in particular is how much coordination is needed from both sides of the server. On a defender side, you think about all the positions you need to kind of take up, whether you're on top of Ivy, if you're on top of Square, and on upper Fireplace. You're also talking about your roamers, players in towards Library. These positions need to be coordinated and communicated clearly so that players know exactly how to move, because, well, I mean, you could easily get picked off from a window, a doorway, somebody you're not suspected. On the other hand, it's the exact same thing with the Wombats. You need a perfect clear. You can't leave someone to just sit behind and, well, give away your position, maybe even pick up 2 or 3 flags. On top of that, you've got to try and clear out multiple positions at the same time. The top of Ivy Stairs, the top upper Fireplace, and towards that square area. Places that I've already spoke about, and well, the Wombats, from what I've seen, have been the most proficient in the playoffs at doing this.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, this, so far, from the asterisk of the first round, I'll say, and the dominant display from the Wombats we've witnessed in the second, it does appear to be a closer formality between these teams, at least on Chalet. The defensive side of IOM seemingly have a little bit more fight in them. It, well, got down to the wire in the previous round. Yes, it took a little bit of heroics, but some teams need that to arrive. And Dicta, well, she's opting to crouch walk on through kitchen, waiting quietly, stealthily, kind of very patient approach. Might just find some chaos to cause, and that F2 doesn't leave many people to tell the story. 2 minutes 10 to work with, and a good progression. Weiwei's leading the charge, met by a Castle Barrier, but that'll be no task. The Gone 6 is there for it. But the cell might, but Surya Gate might be a little bit more challenging. You don't want to sacrifice the drone to do so, but you have all those Gemini replicators to open that up, so that's essentially going to be a free utility clear, and give a nice opening to be able to push through display and clear the play of the shield on Ivy, who happens to be DJ7.
Yes, well, we are on 1 minute and 45, and well, right now, Wombats have completed their clear in towards the north side with it. And we still have, I guess, not many roamers actually when you look towards it. Most of the players are in towards site. Tend to see maybe one player in towards kitchen, but I mean, Wombats, they've already gained control of it. Dicta's down there with the F2 holding that one down, and right now, it's all on DJ7, but whether he can stay alive, whether he can defend his shield, it doesn't seem to be the case. Is that, well, that nade will pick up the frost mat as well. It seems as if Cute Machine's trying to help this one out, help out DJ7, but well, he'll be feeling pretty oppressed, as well as DJ7, with the amount of utility that's being committed from these two teams. And Diffuser has been dropped. The Wombats, with 1 minute left, may potentially be stalling out, considering how much clear is needed for this map, confirming players' positions. But, well, from anything that I've seen before with it, what we tend to see from the Wombats is if they can't get through here, they'll change up focus and come from kitchen.
One pushing through kitchen is a very good entry point, but they seemingly need to take this risk and gamble to make it happen quickly. As I mentioned, time's so critical, and with 30 seconds left to go, it has to happen and happen fast, and this might just be a powder keg round. Who shall be the spark to ignite us to chaos as time drains away? Only 20 remain, and no one yet to fall. Cute Machine's going to take a lot of damage, though, reduced to under half HP. Well, that timer hits red. It's going to be a brawl. 10 players still alive, and make it 9 as the chaos ensues. Weiwei gets one, a second now. Scipio's gonna get to the action. Weiwei now finds a second, can't make it yet, makes it 3. 3 seconds left to work with, though, and no diffuser down. It's being dropped in IOM. Claim around. Chaos. That was hard to keep track of. That was 20-second meta. But let's make it 15 seconds, and then let's get even crazier with that. Let's just wait to 7 to really do something. I mean, I'll take it. It's new. 7-second meta. I'm here for it. I mean, yeah, it's a lot of waiting around, a lot of waffle for us on the virtual caster desk. But
yeah.
I think I can vibe with it, as long as it's not Oregon we have to watch. But I looked at the top of the screen, I do say, oh no, if we need it, the cider is going to be Oregon. Let's fingers crossed for that one.
Well, I just got confirmation from I don't believe it is as much as. Oh no, it is. No, he's right. Science is correct there. Science has gave us a little bit of a statistic here for us, and this is IOM's first round in 2 maps and 16 rounds with it.
Yeah, that's not a start line. You're gonna put the Twitter bio.
Nope,
But
certainly not.
they have broke the streak. This is their first round in the series. Take that as you will, but it's a foundation to build upon. Let's try and get something rolling, IOM. Remember, at the start of this broadcast, I backed you, so I probably cursed you to an early grave, knowing my luck. I've done it to many players before, and Cairo backed him up. That's why he probably made you unbeatable. But IOM, come on, you can get rolling now. You've broke the curse, you've got momentum. Grow, build from it, and become the unstoppable force you know you can be.
Well, Whippet, if there is such a thing as the Cairo caster buff, right? I did say that Cute Machine would be the player to kind of change up this matchup, and well, so far he's 0-3. So
Didn't have to do him that dirty, Cairo. You didn't have to do it. We can see it didn't happen. Yeah, you've cursed now. You've actually cursed Cute Machine now. You know what you've done?
no, maybe I've done the opposite, where it's a double
Buffed.
negative.
Oh my, I forgot. You've now doubled down on your potential caster nerf, and you're trying to hope it's positive. Interesting choice, daring one, dare I say. But 2 minutes 15 left to work with up the Solarium stairs. That's going to be Dicta. I mean, this F2 that Dicta has been running, she's just making it work. I mean, you don't need those drones. All you need is an active gun, and well, someone can aim like Dicta. That's all you need. And F2's a great one for it. Yourself get close to the bathroom. Gonna make their presence known very soon. More drones, more information, and playing a daring choice to shoot that drone, knowing death lurks only a mere meter away or so. But nonetheless, escapes, no damage done. No damage done across the board. Well, I speak too soon. Wei finds some early damage taken. Unknown of the direct source down below, however, trying to battle for control down there. That was like Scipio who got in that initial engagement. Not too daring, but map control gathered. They have a good vocal point. They can press. They can make this uncomfortable for IOM. But they have to start landing shots. They have to start chipping away at HP and finding some success in this entryway. Dicta has a smoke grenade to work with. Only one. And those drones to try and gather information. Vulcanite finds some damage again. Scores just unknown. And now in DBNO, IOM beginning to build some momentum. This could be very, very interesting indeed. They find 2 in a row. Can they make it 2 rounds in a row? Dicta gets aggressive and slapped down. It's a 5 versus 1. The Wombats begin to falter. Can IOM grab control of this series and tie it up and find 2 rounds in a row? It looks likely 55 seconds, and Weiwei's got just over half HP to make it work. A lot of drones relaying information, but will it be enough? Find some damage down to Bang. That could be an opening, but against 4 more active guns, a likely task. Not gonna be this. Creeps on in, the Rive is there, and okay, completely concussed, lands the shot. The ARX, not something you want to mess around with, but nonetheless, only gonna get 1 back for the good and can't make it 2 or 3 as IOM lock out the round 2 in a row for them. First 2 rounds in this series, and they're back to back. I like it. I like this. This is what I want to see.
Well, the first round has come, and well, they all seem to follow by the looks of things here. Whippet, and well, we're going to have to go to a site that we haven't seen before. It's kitchen and dining room. IOM played that, I don't want to say almost to perfection, but very patient in the way that they just sat back, waited for the Wombats to do their thing, and well, I mean, they weren't giving away any freebies this time. They played a lot more passive, which, well, it was key. And do you know what else was the key? The first pick was onto Vulcanoid, and she always plays on that bathroom balcony. I really want to highlight that area because it's an easy pickup for any team if they want to get an entry into the round. And also on top of that, I mean, there's no pressure that comes from that south side of the map, from that kind of balcony area where there's 2 key windows that really control that whole top floor area. But for this site, if we're talking about top floor, is where most of the action happens. On top floor, to basically defend kitchen, you essentially need to control the top floor area in towards kitchen and master, office and master. It's essentially like, how would you describe it? It's like the split site on Consulate but flipped. You have to control the bottom floor to control the top floor, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'll look at this and say this top floor of Chalet is one of the most influential floors in Siege. When you look at this, the 3 out of the 4 sites that are played, I mean, 3 sites are played. No one really goes to the basement anymore instead of competitive play, but the 3 main sites are all influenced by this top floor. This is one of the most key areas, and we're looking at it right now. That double door, this Ivy hallway, is such a make or break position for every team that's trying to break down the defense. It's difficult to do it any other way, and it's difficult to do it the meta way. So it's a very strong position to hold. Not a lot of utility has been put up here. They've put a gun, which is something, I guess, but will that be enough against a lot of pressure getting mounted from the Wombats? The Gemini Replicator, of course, spotting out the Jaeger. They now know this position is there, and it might make things a little bit more difficult, and this is a bit of a concern to see this little utility being directly committed to one of the most influential sectors of the map. This might spell disaster for IOM. They found 2 rounds in a row, they've broken their curse, but have they just made a critical error?
Potentially could be. Weiwei's picked up deathly, and well, he's just continued on a rampage in towards this main steer area here with it. It seems as if the Wombats have gained so much control, and well, IOM are just giving everything away for free, whether it be the map, whether it be bodies. They're down to oh my god, did you just... No way. They didn't even realise Scipio was sitting towards main stairs.
No.
What an absolute... Do you know what I'm going to call it? It's a rat spot. I hate saying the word, but how is it...
Doesn't even need Ember Eyes to be camouflaged. Just sit still, no one can see you, but doesn't last too long. The joys of that play, somewhat shadowed by the fact it's now a 4 versus 1 in favour of the Wombats. There's a little left in even. DJ7 has somewhat of a task ahead of them to be able to claw this one back. Gets one more though with that C4. Oh my. Don't do this to me. Don't raise my heart rate like this, DJ7, only to steal it away from me. Are you going to clutch this one out? Less than a minute to work with. SMG11 has been, well, one of the best weapons to clutch up with in competitive play across all levels. The information is there. Those yellow pings relaying it. They know exactly where the threat's coming from and when it's going to arrive. It's going to be a 1 versus 3. Revive was there. A long line of sight, finds some damage, but that's going to give away his position. He has time to rotate away and escape down by the wine cellar. Perhaps grab a nice refreshing drink and get ready for the wars to come as that plant's going down. So we have 40 seconds until we hit critical, and the coverage is there from the bottom of the main stairs. So will he know? Will he know? We'll check this position. A long line of sight. Difficult to fight with this weapon, but his position is not accomplished. It absolutely leaves no prisoners, and well, Dicta very sharpishly dispatches of that active threat and around for the combat Wombats.
Right, well, let's put a little bit of perspective onto how things are going right now. The Wombats, if they win this next round, go to a 4-2 split and gain a real advantage onto the defensive side, considering the fact that as Chalet has progressed, as Chalet has kind of started to evolve, the strategies have been made, is been really starting to lean towards the defenders slightly and towards the higher tiers, and well, Whippet, if we were to compare it to this league and the statistics that, well, all these players have been playing out, and this is considering only towards the main season, right? We look towards Chalet, and it is, again, really heavily in favour of the defenders with a 56.5%. I say heavily, I guess it's just slightly in favour of the defenders.
I mean, I think even in Siege, in our current climate, the fact that we went from... I mean, I say like this was a recent, but we're, what, 9 months into that, even more into this significant shift of meta. We've seen maps get more and more closer to that 50% range. So even having a map 2-3% swing either way is a pretty substantial way to look at it going, okay, that's the side that's being dominant. It's still going to be close between these teams. The Wombats clearly showing a proficiency. They understand Chalet. The ebbs, the flows, the ins, the outs. They know what to do. Evidenced by the fact that they're now leading. The IOM, they're not being a rollover. They're not being or conceding positions as easily as they did on Clubhouse. They're very much making changes, and good ones at that. They got 2 rounds in a row. They've shown they can make the Wombats bleed, which of course is a big thing mentally, considering you just suffered a 7-0 loss on the opening map of the series. But can you make that count? Can you build upon it? And can you find a round right now, in round number 6, tie us up, moving to your attacking side? It will evidently be a harder take and harder time for them. Gemini Replicator made no more, but finds no damage, anyone falling in behind it. Not a massive success there, but that's going to be deterrent. Not making it too keen to push on and be a trophy. I don't think anyone's going to be daring enough to vault through that window for the time being.
No, definitely not. And well, I mean, I was talking to a couple of Deviants boys, and they identified trophy as a key position where Wombats like to come in from, and they tried to a couple of times to maybe get a C4 up and get a key frag. They never wanted to commit bodies to it, and well, IOM, they're obviously confident in their own mechanical ability to actually contest and maybe put some sort of disruption in towards this push, but they've dropped off fairly effectively, fairly well, all the way back, and they are really wasting time. 2 minutes now, and well, Wombats haven't really started much of a clear. The bodies are still mostly outside. Yes, Call Me Dicta has started to move forward and has destroyed a couple of Legion mines. They're trying to find where these players could be. Celerium is where the defenders have started to come in from. Whippet. This is starting to be reminiscent of another round that we watched earlier. This could be IOM 3-3.
They're in a good position to do so. They have utility, they have everything set up and established. Much better commitment of that utility, and they can waste some time. But keep an eye on that clock, because the Wombats, they can just press. We've seen them do it before, and this is a great camera. It gets the majority of the lobby. They spot the player down and dining as well. And DJ7 on Ivy can make a stand with the shield. ADS is there for coverage, and I'd imagine a crossfire established as well. 2 have been burnt away. That grenade will land. The Frostmat made no more, as well as that cover, but definitely gets into the action. Majunk's will be the first to fall, and this is what IOM need. A catalyst, a spark of movement. Can they capitalize now? 10 centimeter takes some damage, but even more received the cute machine. But DJ7 grows and presses that advantage even more, and the Fuser stranded outside by Fluke. Volkanoi tries to get that recovered, but Wavy's next to go. IOM have found their footing now in this round, and this looks like we're going to see this series tied up here on Chalet. 35 seconds to go, and the Wombats have no answer, no stronghold, no way in. This might just be a lockout for the Wombats. Oh, not for the IOM. Whoopsie.
I'm sure he allowed at least one whoopsie because, well, IOM for the past 2 maps, they've been making whoopsies every single round, and right now, well, those whoopsies have somewhat been stopped as Cute Machine does get down by a really key frag, but it's nothing to get excited about right now, Whippet, as there's only 10 seconds remaining, plenty of bodies, plenty of guns trained toward the position of the last 2 remaining players of the Wombats. They try to make some semblance of a push when, well, a flawless round confirmed from IOM, and well, a 3 each half, but this is where things start to get a little bit harder for IOM, because right now they've been on the easier side of things of Chalet. They've been on the defense, and well, when you're on 3 each, you've somewhat just left it a little bit balanced. So you have to find the next 4 rounds, make it a 4-2 split, take the advantage, or at least make it 3-3 to get towards overtime. Whippet. We head to Master Bedroom first, and this can be a very tricky site to attack in itself. And well, if we go from the semblance of 4-2 splits, because that tends to be what all maps go by, and that's what tends to be the reference for casters. The 4-2 split is always usually in favour of the defenders, which would give Wombats this map.
I haven't seen or observed so excited for an operator in a long time. So in our lovely live chat, Science has exclaimed Clash! Yes, baby, exclusive. I cannot say live on broadcast, but I'll leave that up to your imagination. He's excited to see Clash getting brought out. Volcanoid will be the player to do so. The CCE shield, great for air denial, great for burning time. We've seen on Clubhouse that IOM have struggled with their time. So this might be the perfect offer to bring to choke that out and make their life even more miserable on this map that tends to be a little bit weighted to the defensive side.
Well, Whippet, I'm just going to catch you up a couple, because obviously you've not been here for a while, and obviously a lovely observer Science. He was on a bit of a boat journey, so I'll catch him up as well. Wombats, they played for 6 rounds straight Clash on, I believe it was actually Chalet. Volcanoid on the Clash even got an EBAC certification on how good she is on it. So that gives you like a little bit of a history, a little bit of, like, Volcanoid is actually really good
certified. EBAC,
EBAC
are you real?
I'm being real right now.
No.
EBAC certified.
That is better than lifting the hammer at SI. Getting an EBAC certification, I mean, what more do you want? That is pinnacle. of a Siege career. Name one player other than Vulcan that has that EBAC certification. Name one in NAL. Name one in EUL. No one. Only Vulcanoid. Only here in Buell do you have an EBAC certified Clash main. And this is already proving to be a difficult task to solve for IOM. Well, tell you what, they solved the puzzle of Kaid pretty early. Send a grenade on in to do the job. M67 detonates, finds the target, and that's going to leave 10 centimeter into the BNO state. Left on 20 HP if they can be recovered, which might be a little bit more of a difficult task. Scipio down on Solarium Stairs, ready to pounce on that Clash, and might find a chance to do so. A lot of damage done. Actually, not that much damage done. Concussion lands perfectly, but Vulcanoid stays in the fight, stays around, and just burns more time, more utility. Yeah, I can see why this was an EBAC certified Clash main. Vulcan is doing a fantastic job in this. She might just be the MVP of this round.
Certainly looking likely, but it seems as if Scipio has just really turned his eyes elsewhere, and Vulcanoid, maybe feeling the pressure a little bit, has dropped off, and well, why not? But Cute Machine is looking towards her position. That was near very close to maybe losing her life, but it looks as if 10 centimeters contesting this big window repel, and you don't contest repels, especially not when Angelix is there, and oh no, with it. Oh no! It's Call Me Dicta on the flank and gets picked up, evening up the man count. That was nearly potentially giving the round to the Wombats. PG7 coming in clutch, shutting down that flank, making sure to trade up evenly. IOM nearly giving that one away.
I'm just going to draw your attention. Vulcanoid still alive, still has that CCE, and oh my, way, you've got no rights to do that with an SMG-11, but nevertheless, you get it done. A 3 versus 2, and that Clash is still a factor. The CCE is going to make this a misery to push on in. IOM now stuck between a rock and a hard place, and either way through will be an easy task. Smoke cannons as well, choking them out. They're cornered and boxed in like rats in this bathroom. Can they escape and find some breathing room before they walk to this toxic gas? DJ7 takes a massive damage, source unknown, but Biang tries to push forward, tries to get some ground. Spots the player by the piano, wins the fight, walks into a shotgun, make it 2, Weiwei feasts, and bodies fall around for the combat Wombats.
Well, Signs, he was on a boat journey the past couple of weeks, but he'll be thinking he's on the night boat to Cairo, because this has been absolute madness. Wombats constantly back and forth, Dicta with a flag. We have Vulcanoid in the Clash, managing to persist for a full round without being taken out, without a frag grenade even touching her health, and well, the smoke coming in clutch towards the end as we saw the push come through. The IOM nearly managed to clutch that up as we saw the player on piano get take out. But well, the Mossberg in hand was definitely what is the defining factor at the end. We do move towards Baron Gaming, and well, we saw the Wombats stall out not once but twice. Can IOM actually maybe adjust and take this one out? We'll need to see.
Are we endeavoring to see yet another array of Clash picks? This is the second one now. I mean, this is actually... I mean, I'm just going to give massive credit to Vulcanoid for sitting and playing in Solarium the way she did. That control, that presence, that CC shield sunk so much utility. Chipped away at HP, of course, the player on that repel, and just gave some breathing room to the team. Clash is an annoying operator to come across in your day-to-day playing experience, but in a comp setting, that role of being able to lock down an area and force a commitment to utility, that is so impactful, so important, and Vulcanoid done it perfectly. Will we be in store for more of the same? Only time can tell, of course, but I'd imagine we're going to see that be a factor in this round, playing on the Ivy stairs, and that's not going to make the job too easy to control that very key area.
It's not only that though, Whippet, right? It's not as if there was anybody there to support her. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that she played her role so well that literally nobody was needed to actually kind of help her out. And, well, I mean, when you can really commit the rest of the bodies elsewhere on the map, that can help out him a little bit of a, I was going to say a rush. It doesn't seem to be the case, but Dicta getting shut down early will certainly help IOM out on this round.
Well, that's a great opening. Dicta's off the board. She's been so impactful, finding kills, popping up in these key moments. But will that be enough to spring a catalyst to get something working in favour of the attacking side? 2 players queuing up outside Pepper. Will they be able to push on in and find some success? They see the player down below in pipes, and that's Vulcan relaying that information A great position, a great amount of information being relayed. They can't push forward knowing they're chasing the shield. Centimeter hold on a wonderful angle up on the balcony, but Mezzanine doesn't have a lot of cover to work with, and they leave themselves in DBNO. Not likely to get recovered in such an exposed position, leaving us becomes 5 versus 3. But Jonk in a great position though, playing around that chassis. A gun they can hit hard and send bodies to the ground. Might be able to find some chaos and reap the reward, but not for long. Definitely gets that LMG to sing. It might not be an Alda, but it'll do for now. We hear the Clash draw their SMG, looking for a brawl. And Weiwei with the SMG-11 behind the bar. What cocktails of death can they serve up? A toxic canister for the first order of the night. What will be our final call? As another one's tossed out to cover the door, time drains away, and Deathly gasps it in and reduces their HP to under half. Deathly, though, will find a kill. The LMG makes short work and finds 3! Oh! That's what you do when you don't like the class call at a bar. You go and make your own drinks. You get rid of the bartender and you storm it with malicious intent. And we find ourselves once again tied up 4 rounds apiece. IOM bringing some life back to this series.
Yeah, well, they certainly look as if they're coming back here. And, well, I don't like the fact that Vulcanoid has a 0.6 rating, because I feel as if she's been one of the best players on the defense. Maybe that's just affected by the attacking half. And, well, I mean, all the positive ratings are on the side of IOM. They all look as if they're actually helping out the team for once here, Whippet. Look, maybe Cute Machine, the player that I pointed out, is the player to make a difference. He's not really fragging out as such, but his entry difference of 3 and 1 is absolutely huge, especially on an attacking half.
I mean, I'm almost mesmerized by this matchup so far. It is unusual to see a 7-0 and a bounce back like this. This might get spicy. I'm gonna say we got 2 chilies. 2 chilies on the little packet on your meal. 2 chili. We're not quite at 3, and so I'll be daring. If we get to Oregon, it might be 4. And overtime in Oregon, well, that will be 5, of course, but that's long in the distance. That's horizons away. We haven't even set sail yet for those shores, and I'll be fair now. Round number 9 next to go, and I am very intrigued to see how this one's going to get played out. The Wombats seemingly not having the level of dominance you'd expect to have on Chile, especially considering this was the map pick they brought out for this best of 3, and when they were on their opposition's choice, they made short work of them. Drones set out, gathering information in the entryway, likely to arrive via Solarium or that trophy area. Correct me if I'm wrong, is this site down in the basement?
No, it's the Bar Gaming
revisit
site again. It's a revisit.
Yes, the angles being opened up just above the breach inside of that lobby did confuse me just for a bit. My small brain couldn't comprehend that at all, but nonetheless, we move in, drones gathering control, and Vulcanoid, once again, on that clash. I have a feeling you're going to get used to hearing me say that, because this is going to be a recurring theme. You've got 1 evac certification. Can you aim for 2? Is that how it works? I don't know.
Maybe it's like when you do your driver's license, when you get the normal certification, like, oh, there you go, there's your driver's license, and maybe you get like the advanced one. Maybe that's potential. I don't know. Do they have them in Ireland? Like where you get your advanced.
Yeah, no, we do. You know, we do. We certainly do. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think Vulcan is improving, going up the licenses for Clash now. I mean, this is again, why use a shield when you can use a shield and a Clash on top of Ivy? And ADS there, of course, to help add some additional coverage. That's a massive blow. That utility getting burnt by the beam. But what a nade from Scipio! I have to say it, BC, a new applicant for the School of Throwables. But Icta's gonna get that refrag down below. She waits, lying for prey to arrive, and finds the victim up above in Mezzanine. A 115 left to work with, and look at Cute Machine on low HP, but echoing that on the defensive side will be Jonk on the Jaeger. Can't take a single scrape or scratch lest they be felled in this round. A minute to work with, but ADS comes back to life. The Magpie chirps, and the grenade is no more. Less than a minute left to go, and that's going to be your smoke off the board, down by Ivy stairs. 10 centimeter tries to put up a scrap and a fight, brawling inside of A-Box, but can't be able to make it work as the ARX too potent, too strong. 308 can't be beat as 40 seconds left in this round, and an official 4 versus 2.
4 versus 2, but remember Bjonk's position as well on towards the main stairs as Call Me Dictum misses a huge gunfight there. The player on 2 HP and a dream. moving up towards the blue stairs. And remember, these players are unaware of his position. As if they were, it would be like sharks hunting their prey. And well, Bjonk has found one, but remember, one player in towards Mudroom is fairly close, not peaked. Bjonk has decided to reposition upstairs. 40-second timer is starting to count down, Whippet. Maybe there's a chance.
There's always a chance, I always believe, but can the Wombats claw this one back? Creeping, crawling, inching around, looks for an opportunity. But down below, that's where your diffuser lurks. The coverage has to be there. A single shot, a misplaced round, even 9mm will be enough to send you to the forever box. And that may be a closed casket affair if the G36 gets a handle on you. 15 seconds, the drop must arrive, but he's made it. Taps the diffuser, tries to use it as bait, but look at the time. It's surely all but over. Cute Machine gets aggressive, but no! Shut down! But the timer will be the ultimate demise of this round, and Scipio makes short work of the Jaeger, who can't put up much of a fight, nor has much flesh left on their bones after an earlier fight. And that is going to be IOM grabbing another round and beginning to get things interesting as the first time now in this series they lead from being beaten 7-0 on Club to now leading on Chalet. What a story this can be if they can close it out, but a long road still sits ahead of them, and the Wombats not likely to go quietly into this night as round 10 next to arrive as Master Bedroom and Office are side of choice. And well, to sound like a broken record from Intent, Vulcanoid once again dons that clash. Will it be the same strategy, though, to be able to form that front line in Solarium and burn those vital, vital seconds from the clock?
Something I want to say here with it is, right, I'm going to go through every single game that the Wombats have played on Chalet in the playoffs. We go towards Frogs. They won 7-3 in emphatic fashion, right? They and then we move on towards the Vigipatch. 7-2 on Chalet. Then we go to Deviants. 7-4, the closest they have been pushed on Chalet in this playoff bracket. So right now, we have seen the Wombats being pushed the furthest on Chalet, as it is now 5-4. Maybe, just maybe, we're about to witness Wombats' first map loss in the playoffs as a whole. That means they have not dropped a single map against anybody that they have played against. But 2 rounds to go before we can confirm that notion, before we can even confirm that. Well, Whippet, there's one thing I want to say though, right?
Yeah?
Well, Weiwei does a little bit of a dance. What would happen if that Mossberg had missed its shots and actually we seen IOM get the plant down with Vulcanoid left to clutch it up on a clash?
I would say I don't want to even tempt fate with that one. I think it would have been a difficult one to win. That SMG can be a little bit unruly, and taking fights at range isn't ideal for it. But what? I think the plant goes down. The attacking side can win that. I like Vulcanoid. And once you've been doing a stellar job on Clash, that SMG isn't exactly what you want in a clutch position, but nevertheless, we must move, and this is going to be a run-up. Dicta's going to pop this fire, get expected. It's free to Oh! Take a bit of a back step there. Okay, daring. I like it. That Claymore, though, is going to make that a difficult job. Only if you had a mute jammer right there, you would have been able to get that like free real estate. Perhaps an adjustment that could be made to a lineup, but nonetheless, on that roam will be a Rooney, and the verticality, that mobility, that punch provides you is of course a massive asset to anyone who would be daring enough to take some fights early on. And the player on the rappel definitely very lucky that Claymore was placed, whether it was themselves or a teammate who got that down. They can thank their life for that one. Cute Machine taking a little bit of a love tap on that wall.
Yep, well, a minute and 30, and I mean, almost nothing has been done, obviously. We saw didn't really go for a bit of a run out there, and I mean, I feel as if IOM again are kind of back towards their form on Clubhouse and starting to stall out on this map. They're obviously taking their time with the fact that Dicta has been so prevalent on the roam, and everything all being said here with it, it seems as if time is just ticking away, and well, Vulcanoid, she's ticking away with those tasers.
Okay, it's an unusual death to receive, but when you take so much damage and you're stuck on a rappel, you can't go to the EBNO, so that's Sophia no longer available to us. Falls the harrowing height. I couldn't get the word height out of my mouth there.
It's because you're so small.
Okay. No, thank you for that. I needed that right now. I tell you what we need though. IOM to speed things up. You've got 35 seconds. Let's get it rolling, come on! I'm waiting for this to kick on off. There's a toxic canister, and DJ7 can't be daring enough to speed type his way to success for that one, and every second that drains away the lifeline for IOM. Will we see this tied up to 5 rounds apiece? Shots raining off the distance, and Yana hits no more. Scipio meets their maker, and this might be all she wrote for round 10. The toxic cloud will choke out this push, but 2 now for IOM. The opening is there, but this plant must go down. You have to work it now, and that's exactly what they'll do. The clash runners on him, but the rotate's not large enough. The coverage is there, but nonetheless, the defense closed it out. I don't know where this arrived. He came off. Oh no!
DJ7?
No!
What?
He pulled off. He pulls off the defuse. There's no cover. He saved KD in the critical moment. If I had a clipboard or a keyboard I could smash, it would be in pieces right now.
DJ7, you can't come off a diffuser. Whippet, what is the saying? Pros don't fake. And well, it's just as well he's not a pro, because that is absolutely shocking. I can't believe he's came off the diffuser at the key moment. I mean, 5-5.
While I may not have had a keyboard at my disposal, our wonderful observer, of course, has made a short work of his. Keys have flied everywhere, and I would imagine, thank God, he's a freak on the sticks when it comes to observation. That's all he needs to get it done, but 5-5. Tied up, round 11. You take us back, you rewind us to after Clubhouse. I wouldn't have saw this coming. I would have went, you know, IOM likely to get some rounds back, perhaps on the defensive side, but not to put up as much of a fight, just based off one map. Things have changed. Whether it was bringing in Cute Machine, that revitalization, or it was just they feel more confident on Chalet, this is a matchup. This is what we need, and if we can go to map number 3, this might be one of the most interesting series we've had in the playoffs, considering no other match so far has went to 3 maps.
Well, this is it, Whippet. We want 3 maps. Me and you were sitting there and like kind of pre-prod, sitting talking about everything that's been going on in the playoffs, coming up with storylines, coming up with how we wanted to do it, coming up with the fact that, oh, well, I'll be from that Wombats and you're going to support IOM, etc., and all that good stuff that we tried to do as casters. Oh, flurry of kills comes out already, and we're not even 30 seconds into the round. The point I was making was me and you were hoping for 3 maps. Me and you said we want the first 3 maps of this whole entire playoff bracket before we are guaranteed 3 maps, and the best of 5. Cute Machine is wanting that 3rd map after a frag like that. The remaining roamers, or lookers I should say, are maybe looking a little bit worried. Vulcanoid, the only player remaining.
They want it. They absolutely want this 3rd map, and I have a feeling they shall fight tooth and nail to the bitter end for it. Vulcanoid no longer on that coveted flash, must bring a gun to the fray now. And how shall this work out? Time drains away, but still a lot to work with. The hourglass barely goes over the halfway point. Can they go for it? I'm just going to get himself caught with the air job, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean that in the most literal of ways. Pinned in a box with no escape. And that may as well be in a casket. The Forever box closes, and now in a 4 versus 2 advantage all sits with IOM. And let I repeat this phrase, if they find victory here, they move to match point on Chalet. What a story this could be if they can get there. But that isn't over yet. 2 guns and then a TVX. I'm always going to say those 2 players have a very, very good chance of being able to cause some damage and even eke out a victory. Victor cowering in a corner, but not cowering, lying in wait as Cute Machine falls to that C4 down below. All it will take now is 1 perfectly placed round from any of these SMGs to bring us to a level playing field. I don't think Victor is thrown, dodging and weaving, twists and turns in the wind, but eventually compromising position. And with 45 seconds, 40 I should say, left to go, air jabs deployed, Gemini replicator sent out to gather that final stretch of information. Out who's going to follow it? It's going to be DJ7. finds the kill, a critical one, a must-win fight. Volcanoid drops in as flashbangs arrive, shielding their eyes, and Escape scampers up the stairs. But will this be enough from inside of West Main to hold the line? Sees the breach getting opened up and has a wonderful crossfire. Surely not. They're not going to feed the MX4 Storm. Yes, they are. One at least, and 13 seconds left to go. Diffuser's been dropped. Volcanoid can clutch this one out. It's so very doable. Diffuser's been recovered, however, and the coverage is dropped down. This might have just got a lot more difficult, but Yang has so many angles to watch, so many positions, doesn't know where it's going to arrive. And oh! Volcanoid walks in, charges into the fight, and narrowly avoids, or narrowly misses out on getting that kill. And if you only look to your right, she would have been able to find the diffuser and win out that round.
So close. A matter of inches, Whippet. I say inches, probably about a metre if she just swung to her right. If the decision was just made to check in the close corner, DJ7 could have lost that for his team, losing the diffuser in such a precarious situation. But now, Whippet, I get to use my cliche. You know I love my cliches. You know I love my sayings.
You love them.
I do love them, and it's the one-round shootout. I get to use it. I get to bring it out. IOM, what do they win? They win a lifeline. Something that they need in this matchup, and something that, well, we want to see map 3. We want to go to the US of A and see Oregon. Well, Wombats, what do they win? They win a chance to win out this series right here, right now, in the French Alps. And, well, I guess the snowy tundra, you could say. But can they do it? Can they be ice cold? Can they use the pressure to become diamonds in the rough? Well, it's starting to get rough right now, and I don't know if they can win this out, especially on a kitchen site where we just saw IOM rip them apart.
IOM left no prisoners, no survivors to tell the tale. And this will be a tricky round to take. This is going to be one of the most critical rounds of this series. One of the key moments, I think, of this entire playoff. Can IOM go to map 3, lock it out right here, right now, and write the first chapter of the comeback story? The C4 tossed out arrives with no damage done. Key bits of utility already gone and lost to the void. As this position on the stairs is a strong one to hold on to, but always keen to have something that you can lob to that window and find essentially a freebie. Nothing arriving, nothing yet at least. That AUG though, keen enough to brawl with. Here's the LMG raining off, but daring to get so aggressive. You said earlier you shan't peek a window, and I think 10cm has learnt from that lesson and not daring enough to do so. Pinched in, caught between a rock and a hard place. Nowhere to run, but must stand their ground. ADS is there for cover and protection, but the nade arrives! An absolutely perfect frame by frame. BC would be proud, and that's going to be surely a freebie to collect on that Kaid. I believe it will be, but for the time being, a technical 5 versus 4. Make it a technical 5 versus 3. Cheat Machine finds Weiwei, and IOM on the cusp of going to map 3.
They are so close, making that 2 kills closer, but well, Whippet, they have still so much to do. Call Me Dicta and Volcanoid still alive. Remember, these are the 2 players that you identified as potential clutch players that you can never really mark out, and especially with Bjonk being able to help out. I mean, we've seen him get a couple of key kills so far in this matchup, and he is in the Roma highway of the basement. Right now, IOM, they're trying to do the work that they need to do. Open up the floor. Call Me Dicta retreating downstairs with her life in her hands, making sure to reinforce this site, reinforce Volcanoid. A minute and 5 remaining. It looks as if IOM have done all the key points and potentially going for the push very shortly, and maybe premature depending on how much work they have done.
Well, that grenade does a lot of talking as Bjonk's gone and definitely finds one more. Volcanoid in a 1v5. Surely this is all she wrote for Chalet. Our tickets may as well have been booked. Oregon, here we come. 30 seconds, and can IOM close it out? Yes, they can. Definitely finds the last kill in a flawless round. From rags to riches, map 3, here we come.
Two 7-0 losses, Whippet. Two 7-0 losses that they had to bounce back from. They had to correct their mental. They had to correct themselves. They went into that map break and thought to themselves, boys, we need to get ourselves together. We need to get something together. And well, look at that. 3 players on 83% cost, Whippet. 3, an entry difference of 4 and 1 for Cute Machine. Right now, IOM just look like a completely different team from their map pick of Clubhouse.
Something happened. Someone grabbed the initiative between the maps and said, okay, Clubhouse, that was a bit dire. Let's not do that again. Think about this. Let's win Chalet. Let's take our opposition's map and say, okay, it's time for Oregon, the great equalizer of maps. It's going to come down to an Oregon shootout for a place in our grand final. What more could you want? And the very first series in these playoffs that requires 3 maps to separate our 2 sides. But nonetheless, we shall take a small break, recover our voices, restore our energy, and give the players a chance to let that adrenaline sink into their veins even deeper as map 3 awaits when we return.
going to get the trade back onto Proctor. It's 3 versus 2 now. Luden's desperately trying to get onto that site, but no! Wright's going to shut it all down! Full pin on that nade. He's going to throw it out, but no! Proctor's going to take him out. Try swinging it and see if he can find anything, and he is going to swing, and he's going to find 2!
Just looking the wrong way, right? Continues his rampage. Make it 4. Can he find the ace? He looks towards the door. Can he find the last one? He looks to he flicks, and it's an ace!
All of those bullets, and the C4 is going to come out, and it's going to, well, clean up that round. When you know how aggressive Team 9 are playing. Save Tsunami, sorry, Brendan's live there for a second, and Brendan's going to find a second, and a third, but no! Scipio's going to walk on in.
This could be a throw here, DJ7 identifies with the player as Dempsey wins out that 1 versus 1, but no! Oh, what a shot! Second one coming up. Can they all line up? That's the question. Well, they certainly look like they is now. Left with it all to do. Diffuser in pocket, run straight into Victor.
There are players right nearby him. Bides his time, and takes down Spack, who's trying to pull out his hammer without checking yellow stairs. And the refrag attempt from Magpie. The red ping comes through. Korak is setting down the fuser, tries to launch over, and does manage to get the kill. Need to move that. They did a top pinch and a side pinch at the same time, and it just resulted in this shade. A loss. 10 centimeters picks up the first, and here he swings. He gets the supporting player first, and then the planter. Once it's stuck, 2 versus 5. Start this round. Thankfully, Duck is there to save things a bit. So much pressure on this East player. Duck gets another. What a great chance for Ludens. They're back to an even count. And the verticality. Have to fall back to site as quickly as possible in the post plant, though. This round has gone by in a flash. What a headshot onto Yukio, and connects with the second onto DJ7. Quite the same level of performance as we saw from them yesterday. Oh, Weiwei though just gets away with bloody murder, taking out Spack, who's completely unaware of the threat. And a second for Weiwei player. This is falling apart for Deviant. Six are taking out Sandownos. It doesn't matter. Where are you, Yukio and Scipio? There you are. You're in his crosshairs. Spreading out those kills as well. Finding one. Bionk sends Magpie to Horny Jail. Now's the time to plant as Reich is there as the active drone. This is perfect use of that utility. And now, with him dead, oh, the engagement comes through. So lit, both players.
Let's see one player going towards Connector. He's not giving it out. What are you doing? What? Oh.
There we go. Kills are in a 1 versus 1 somehow. Yukio now just duking out with one person. Set it down under the cover of Scipio, waiting. But Scipio loses his 1. It has to come up. DJ7 actually sticks to the plant, but he can't come up and protect it.
Absolute Phoebe. No, Koban, what? Why?
Completely blind at this point. Want to try and mount some sort of offense towards the site, but it's the Pogmat that ends it. The alibi situation is like, oh, it's one by with the kill. But none of that matters, because 10 centimeter has completely put an end to this round instantly. What? Was that an instant ace? Did I read that right?
Welcome back, everybody, and we have some exciting times ahead of us for this one. Our playoffs for Buell Season 3 have not seen a third map at all. And now it's time for that third map. It's going to be Oregon between IOM and the Combat Wombats. 3 maps required to separate these teams, and what a storyline it's been so far. Cairo, give us a bit of a rundown of what we've seen so far in this series.
Well, obviously we headed to Germany for our first map. We went to Clubhouse, and well, some people call it Dubhouse. Well, I don't know what Wombats will call it. Maybe Domination was a good word to throw in the mixer, because 7-0, they smashed IOM to smithereens. It wasn't even a contest. We were describing it as almost perfect Whippet. Then we decided we'll take a trip to the French Alps, somewhere where we can maybe do a little bit of skiing or a little bit of blood sports, you could say, as we saw 5 versus 5, and well, it ended up 7-5 in favour of IOM, evening out their map count. The first time we have ever seen Combat Wombats lose a map. The first time we have ever seen them lose Chalet in the playoffs. And now Whippet, with them bleeding, can they maybe med up, get that IFAC kit out, maybe get some sort of, need to revive your wounds, because on Oregon, with IOM hungry, they'll certainly be looking to win this one out in regulation.
You know, personally, I would say always have a Grizzly in your gamma, but I mean, sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have to live life with an alpha container. This is a niche way to bring us in, but here it is, map 3, everybody. It's the first third map we've had in these playoffs, and we're gonna need, I'd imagine, a lot of rounds to separate these teams. Regulation may not even be enough on our bans, of course. Can you guess? It's Thatcher. Woo. And Flores to follow, so all hard breachers do remain in the fray, but those Rotara drones are so potent at clearing away massive key areas of the map, and only may I draw your attention or example to Elbow down below, and you can surely know how powerful they are. Valkyrie, that's going to make it a 100% ban rate for the American operator in this series, and makes great sense. Information is king of siege, and extra cameras, and you can put those cameras in pesky positions as well. Always give the advantage to the team that can glare through the looking glass. And finally, our fourth ban shall be that Kaid, and that makes tremendous sense. It's going to be a Thatcher ban. Kaid is always to follow, and those are the operators that haven't made all the way to map number 3. I'm excited. It's Oregon. What a great equalizer. This map has always been a map that relies on the better team on the day to show up and win it. Everyone knows how it's played, from positions to strategies to angles to holes to verticality to methods of approach. Everything is known and understood. This map is not providing us new things. It's not giving us a bleeding edge, but it is the equalizer of all equalizers. So who shall be your victor and punch their ticket to our grand finals against Team 9, who are likely watching and waiting and learning from every map they see and gathering information. But nonetheless, Kidstorms will be our very first site of choice. Scipio flashes that clash, but rapidly 6 picks away straight to that bandit for some denial.
Well, Whippet, something that we need to see is, generally over all the maps, right, we went to Clubhouse, attacker sided, but we've seen the defenders win it out. When we look towards Chalet, it was pretty much even. It's been more defender sided, more defender kind of favoured in terms of statistics, but it's the attackers that won it out. And now we head to Oregon. Well, this is going to be an interesting one. It's a nice, even, round circle that we're going to see here. And I watched IOM last time, and they went 6-1 down against Veggie Patch and brought it back to 8-6. Veggie Patch, obviously, they're the ones that will be stumping themselves thinking, oh, this could be us in this game right now. But, well, something that we need to see is this could end up being probably one for the ages, one for the Buell history books, one that we talk about for a while in future casts, because, you know, we like to reminisce, and what better way to start it off on the default site of Kids Dorms and Dorms Halls.
I mean, you wouldn't have it any other way. How many iconic moments have we seen on a map like Oregon? Not a map like Oregon, but Oregon itself. It's linear in design, means key areas like walls, etc. are massive high traffic areas. Keep your eye on the bedroom. You'll see a lot of gunfights occur around there, maybe even inside a meeting. Some early damage done. That was way to the chip. Not too sure where it arrived, but to give you a bit of a rundown about how this one stacks up in terms of the balance between attacking and defending. Currently, so far in the season on Oregon, the attacking side holds 44.4% of the round victories. The defense have 55.6%. So, on paper, IOM right now hold the advantage. They have an ace up their sleeve, but can they capitalize? Can they pounce and hold that advantage?
Nice little replacement of the mute jammer there to just throw off the wombats and make them waste a little bit more time. Obviously, they'll be needing to get rid of that mute jammer if they want to get the breach open. It's a key point, and considering the fact that, well, the Ace is the only hard breacher towards this site, the Maverick is in towards Big Tower, where we're going to end up seeing a bit of a push. 3 players on site is Cute Machine and Scipio are the players roaming. Keep that in mind for later on, folks, as we will see them return to site and potentially a bloodbath or even flanks coming out here. The Attic player is key, bang on the Jaeger. He's needed to win out this one. Scipio is in that roamer highway. He can go up any stairway or choose any sort of action point he really pleases, because let's be honest with it, all 3 staircases lead to where the wombats are.
This is tentative, this is scary, and this is tense, and this is Oregon summarized in, I think, a perfect frame of pictures. You cannot move without someone knowing what you're doing. A single shot, sound, or shuffle will be enough to show your exact intent. And it looks like this primary wall shall be a focal point of this round, being cracked open. Lots of vertical openings around it. But down below, that's Bandit. C4 has primed and ready. As Dictus first to fall, and Scipio, that bandit aforementioned, will find that open and kill the MP7, leaves no remorse behind. And with 30 seconds left to go, a critical blow is being dealt. The F2, a potent weapon, and often the lockpick required to break open these deadlock positions. Byang inside the attic in a great holdout, but has coverage, or does the coverage exist, I should say, knowing they're compromised. Threat arrives, and that nade lands absolutely perfectly. 15 seconds to work with. His attic falls with a crossfire from Kids is there. Timer hits red, and this will be a last-ditch dive into sight. DJ gets one, make it two. Duffy's in the dive as well. That's a 3 versus 1, a 3 or 1 versus 2, but surely that's all she wrote. 1 second, 2 seconds, it's all over. 000, denied by the DMR. Easy as I like. IOM, round number 1, take a bow. Looks like you got some momentum back.
Yeah, it definitely seems as if we have the old IOM back, Whippet, and well, a great first round from them, playing it, I mean, I wouldn't say to perfection, but definitely well. They sat back, they really just took the pick and just let the push come through. Obviously, Ben got taken out by a great grenade, compliments to the Wombats for being able to place that one, and I felt as if the push just came a little bit too late. They'll need to quicken it up, especially when we go towards laundry room and supply, because this, I mean, sight, I guess the key characteristics of this one is obviously that blue hold, the fact that, I mean, most teams just tuttle because you don't really need to do anything else. If you get a key pick, and say for instance you get a hard breacher, because, well, there's only really one in the form of Ace, you could probably collapse a full round. Maverick is going to be key for getting that hat trick in later on, as they haven't opted to go towards a Habana. Obviously, him being brought, he's going to be doing most of the hatch work. AC will be doing probably most of the breaching if we do go towards, say for instance, and Freezer opening that one up. But I think actually IOM have opted for a rotate in the Freezer wall, which is something that we don't really see too often.
No, you don't. It's intriguing to see that being something brought up. Again, the setup is not making many variations, that being the only acceptable note to change to that rule I was mentioning. In Oregon, I think we should probably preface this. This isn't going to be as fast and action-paced as Chalet. That map tends to lead to some of those action-packed rounds you'll see in Siege. This is going to be slow. This is going to be methodical. This is going to be utility balancing, getting entries to work, and absolute raw Siege executions. This is not going to be a blistering fast game, so I recommend, you know, sit down, have your popcorn, and take some notes if you want to learn, because these teams are going to put on a clinic. Vulcanite tries to get some information relayed. Way is creeping down the stairs, but an air jab there in a very exposed position. You might be able to sneak that one without having to get caught in its radius. Clearing every position, even those, well, I think you put it perfectly when we saw some getting brought on Chalet, but those rat spots that you would see players like Blacksing perhaps don in their arsenal of utility. That smoke grenade popped up, is going to give some visual cover, but was pulled up by a magnet, so it's not going to be the best line of sight of the Terrant. It's going to be a little bit elevated, meaning their feet will be exposed as they cross in, but enemies might be daring enough to take that fight. A second one tossed in, the smokes will block vision, and lined this grenade off, bounced through the wall, finds no damage, but might have cleared away utility, and has done so. That hatchet of that wall now reinforced and made solid. Elbow given up and forfeited. That's going to be your first checklist moment achieved for Wombats.
Without a doubt. Here comes the second. They're going to get rid of that hatch. This is going to try and clear out anybody in towards E-Box and Pillar. But remember, they can still persist and really just watch for that drop to come through. It's necessary for the attackers, but not so necessary for the defenders to worry about. Definitely going to keep their eye on that one, though, as well, it seems as if Cute Machine has his eye on towards Zulu area, where potentially he could maybe make a retake in towards the meeting room area. That's where that leads to directly, and obviously these two teams don't want to make a mistake. They're going to make sure that they do everything to perfection, gain all the information that they need before they go for a push. It looks as if Vulcanoid is taking a gunfight with Deathly. He is, well, wanting to cast Death over towards this big tower stairs. The two players stacking up, the utility coming through, and well, here comes the first pick. That's going to be huge for when the later push comes through. I mean, later in the round.
they don't have much time to work with at all. They have to make something happen reasonably soon. Dicta drops to E-Box and gains some control. She's in a great position, but Cute Machine in the corner, tucked away, holding the line, being passive, being reserved, not showing a pixel. Knows the cover is there, and Tencent takes some damage. Source as of yet unknown, and Dicta watching a nasty angle. Those holes work both ways in the famous words of Emzo, and holding it might just find some dividends. DJ7, shotgun primed and ready. I wonder, is that Magnum buckshot he's got ready? Yes, he's going to be sure he's looking to steal a soul, but less than 10 seconds, or sorry, less than 15 seconds left to work with, and nothing's arrived. Darting in from E-Box is there, but the coverage from Freezer is likely going to be the demise of anyone so daring to do so. Vulcan in a great position to see who finds two. Scipio gets in the action as well. Dicta dives in, tries to get that bot down, but the coverage there! 10 centimeters! Oh my! A quad kill! But it's not enough to close out the round. What a play! Patience, almost like he was fishing, waiting for his prey to arrive.
I thought, yeah, like, Angelix was going to say something nice there, like 10 centimeters, more like not even close or something, but that is definitely
I mean,
not...
listen, we're going to have to dock some points there for creativity, Cairo, come on. That was rough. That was...
Sorry, listen, Whip It.
Yeah.
I am not meant to be like the lyrical miracle, like, and all that part.
Well,
of,
I mean, you're showing me that you can make something work there. I like it.
The point is, let's go back to Siege. Let's go back to what I'm good at and good at talking about, right? Let's talk about the fact that Scipio has decided not to go for a Vigil, which is a fairly common roamer pick, but actually to go towards Warden, which, well, he's very good for holding down showers. If you think about it, if there's any sort of, well, flashbang, smokes, he can cut through that. But I guess he's going upstairs.
I mean, it's an odd choice. The one thing I would say about the addition of a Warden, if you do put him in a place like showers, you can somewhat cycle your ADSs into more critical areas, like just upstairs holds. I think you're going to try and double down on that. An interesting divergence, though. Warden was casting some more playoff games, and now he's opted to be in one. He's now going to be holding on Scipio in control, of course, to the most trickiest operator / cosplayer we know. Warden, shout out to you. Come on, you can't deny that mustache. I'm sorry.
No, I know it is very drippy. I do wish I had a mustache like that myself. Mine's a bit like, I guess mine's a bit more scruffy in a way, but well, I like.
No one can compete with the Warden mustache. There's a reason why best Warden cosplayer there is. Certification. Tell you what though, best opening kill there is. Dicta finds Deathly very early. Wave goodbye to your Mozzie. Hop on those drones you captured, if you found any, or spectate your teammate. That's equally as good. Why hop on cams when you can be able to spectate some potential... Ah, there you go. Look at that. Caster blessing. Back on those cameras, relaying information, doing their part.
Well, honestly, see, to be honest here, Whip It.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that's been going on has been directly influenced by us, whether we've cussed it or buffed it. I mean,
well, we're actually reading the script.
Yeah, are we? Are you reading? Did you get a script?
Yeah, no. What's going to happen here is Dicta's going to find the kill in showers. And it's going to arrive. Okay. Well, Q Machines went off script. Clearly, this is
Venom.
Who wrote the script?
Cut it.
Who wrote?
Cut it.
Can we rewind again, Noah? Can we but I mean, I don't think I could have cursed that situation any harder. There's prime example of how.
Yeah, right, well, we'll continue on here, Whip It. Interestingly enough, we're not going to see any sort of thermite tricking coming through. We're just going straight to the beat. Don't need to waste any sort of time with that. Obviously, some vertical play coming through, but it's the horizontal you need to worry about as Cute Machine continues with that P10 Roni. But oh no, Vulcanoid. She's working down the kitchen corridor, walking around to see if she can maybe pick anybody out. And, well, taking her time, these players in towards small towers, distracting the rest, and she's going to be able to get in here without even giving away her position, like a snake, pushing through. Predator, waiting to see if she can pick up her prey with it. This could be a key moment defining this round if IOM can't maybe catch her out.
Keep your nerve, Vulcanoid. Stay calm, cool, and collected, and a simple squeeze of that trigger can spell demise. Every sound cue alerting and sending some caution. But Vulcanoid just exists in such a great position. If anyone's daring to drop, they might find him, but in walks the Jaeger, and well, it's nasty surprise in the kitchen for a midnight snack as Vulcanoid becomes that way walks in and claims control of Freezer. Well, the old trickster of Sam Fisher gets the job done and finds a second one as Cute Machine's next to go. Well, the Jaeger there for a trade, but up Sam goes, climbs the white stairs, the maple leaf stairs, you may see it doesn't drop prone, advances away from the most cursed position in Siege. Plant goes down, but not for long. Coverage is there, and well, drops and arrives! You couldn't have put a better Splinter Cell reception, just like that. Arrives like the classic games of Chaos Theory to Warden and crushes him beneath his mask, claiming around, and a great coverage there for the Combat Wombats.
Great coverage, but Whippet,
Yes.
no matter what you talk about in this round, you have to talk about the fact that Vulcanoid was able to distract the defenders long enough that the Wombats could actually move in towards the site. And then after that, I felt as if IOM just threw the round, giving away 1 versus 1s to the remaining players on site. One thing we have to say, the patience from Wombats was like a saint. They just took their time, was able to move through, get the plant down, get the frags that they needed to, and well, they reacted almost perfectly. But the thing is, though, something that's been a key signification of a Wombats team is how well they react and adapt to what they've already seen.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Very key words of adage inside the Siege. If you can't make those changes on the fly, you can flounder. And I think both these teams, after the Clubhouse, for IOM, have been able to be more adaptive, more receptive, and very much reading into the ebb and flow of the match. IOM, on the defensive side, I'm going to have to say, I think they might be able to get a couple more rounds. I think they might come out in a positive split. Just because right now, in the league so far, we do have that advantage for the defensive side here in Oregon, and intrinsically for the defensive side of map. But the Wombats have looked strong. That round, again, we mentioned that they were able just to walk in. Vulcan was able to walk in checker, take kitchen, free real estate. No one was watching. And if that's the type of weakness you have on a tertiary site, that you can just waltz on in, you know, you might not have them on your primaries, but you never know. So that might have just been something now in the back of the mind for the Wombats. They might go for an alternate push behind the main front line and find some success in doing so. Sifter goes for a spawn kill, but nothing arrives. The open door is going to very much act as a deterrent. No one wants to get so daring to peek that. Creeping down to the basement, but not running away. Staying in the same postal code, looks for a brawl later in this round. And I can't remember the Wombats unknowing and caught napping if they do so get daring enough to enter.
Well, Whippet, Scipio's just doing his job. He's just taking his time and just, well, letting himself be seen as, maybe letting himself being seen a little bit too much. Brings out the C4 to peek and, well, shut down in an instant. Well played from the Wombats. There goes that Roman presence, but remember, Cute Machine is still on the prowl. Hunting, I say it almost as a pack. They were a little bit split up in that aspect. It seems as if 10 centimeters going for the natural, open up the line and then open up a hole on the other side. They have seen the breach go through on Master, so far the Wombats are making a lot better time. Vulcanoid has gained great control in towards, well, this area in Master. All in all, IOM may start to feel a little bit claustrophobic. They may start to see their fears come to light as well. The Wombats are breathing down their neck at the moment. The push in towards Attic will be coming soon. And well, Beng hopefully doesn't get taken out by a grenade once again.
Has the ADS is there to coverage, but only I think 2, or at least even that 1. That's not going to be enough to hold on. So Reagate catches something though from the distance, and unsure of that exactly. No, not even. Oh, yes, it's Reagate. There is an already in play. My eyes deceive me. DJ7 takes an absolute mess of damage from Trophy Room. Dick is the source of that. Mossberg fires away. Nothing connects. You might have Magnum Buckshot, but you must hit your shots. We have less than a minute to work with. C4 ripped, primed, and ready. Sends it out, but nothing arrives. It's there. They can shoot that out. Doesn't matter. Blows it eventually, but that's going to find no damage. Way in a great position. And DJ7, I don't think too long for this life. Has to worry about 2 key positions. That might just be enough to send them to the Forever Box. Beng as well, getting crawled with and taking lots of damage, but doesn't care. Be able to stand their ground and find the kill. Way falls. It's a 4 versus 4. Make it a 4 versus 3. 2 from inside of Dorms, but down below is Vulcanoid gets one back and makes it a level playing field. 3 versus 3. 20 seconds left to go, and surely a push with the Whites is the only option available to Sophia. But that's going to be loud and compromised, sending up utility to try and clear a path, forge an opening. That Saria gate's exactly what you don't want to see in a Riven. The swing is there, the DMR defensive death quickly as that Victor who falls next to triple kill for Byung. Death is off the list of Byung, but it's going to be all over surely. Yes, it is! That's going to be yet another one for Jaeger inside of dorms, and makes the job look easy as you like with low HP as Ace falls, diffuser in hand, and yet another round in favour of IOM. 3-1 our scoreline.
They were a man down when the push came in, Whippet, and well, when you're a man down, they pushed that a little bit harder, less guns to train on to key positions, and well, they did so. I mean, divvying up the guns in perfect positions, creating crossfires, that was just, well, a recipe of death. And so far, IOM again looking strong on this defensive half. They look as if they're back to their old selves and really dusted themselves down from, well, I guess a lot of the past 2 matches that they've had to face up against. And well, we're heading back to Laundry and Supply, another rotation coming through, something that we'll probably keep seeing. We won't see anything, well, that will maybe take us off guard. Probably leave that to the Wombats to do that as, well, IOM, they'll be looking to win this one out and try and reattempt that tertiary site, well, where they were that couple seconds away from winning it out. This time, I mean, they're still going for really weird tactics in the form of creating a rotation in towards Freezer to let the players rotate in and out of Laundry, maybe suspecting that, well, Wombats always go for a blue take, but one thing I want to kind of point out is the fact that with the Wombats, they always have, I believe, 2 strategies for every single push, and I could easily see them clearing from Small Tower and going down to Laundry and maybe Supply Room as well. Laundry and Supply, I meant Laundry and Freezer.
I'm always so intrigued when the team opts for that type of push. Just going for something different on this side rarely works. There's a reason why. The teams that have come before have forged a path that we now call the meta for attacking this site, but as you push down that Freezer and Laundry site, you have to take a lot of direct on fights, and that's not a task that many teams want to take the gamble on, as many fights, just like to put the numbers simply, are 50-50. Even if you intrinsically have the advantage, all it takes is one round to connect in siege, and whether that be from recoil or accuracy, it'll still put you in the ground nevertheless. So entryway happens down towards Checker now, creeping in, gets control as Weiwei sends an air jab to cover off the flanks. A great use now, really a great use of these air jabs, of being able to lock it down, gain control, and extend their foothold and use it as a staging area to launch their assault. Looks like meeting room will be the high area, the preferential push so far. Next Kyler's trying to chew and open up this hatch and give them a line of sight to fight with. No one's daring enough to peek up and be direct in doing so, as Volcanoid lays prone and covering. LMG mounted, loaded, primed, and ready for anyone daring and brave enough to ascend those stairs. But they don't have to worry about an ascension. It's a descent right now, and that's going to be Cute Machine upstairs, lurking, lying in wait. Well, Dicta know, however, as this is going to be mostly creeping down. I think they just walk past each other. There's no information, there's no calls, no comms, no knowing, no understanding. As Dicta walks down Freezer stairs and doesn't know, death looms just a few inches above their head. Weiwei gets the opening kill, the ARX-6, Weiwei leaves no prisoners. This might be a very critical moment. If Dicta's position is known and compromised, that push will come down and arrive behind on that flank, and that will be a nightmare. Weiwei finds a second, Byung falls, and this is Cute Machine now on the move, on the hunt, on the prowl. Minute 15 to work with, and well, makes very quick work of Call Me Dicta.
Yes, certainly does, and we'll be waiting for the push to come through right now as 10 centimetres is very close. Sees that that Wamai disc has gone out though, Whippet, and will definitely give away Scipio, but Cute Machine is there to react from Freezer, picking up that key frag. Seems as if the breach is coming through as Volcanoid comes down to rally with the troops and maybe help with this push that needs to come through. They're trying to get rid of utility, gain key information, and well, there's lots of utility still left for these defenders to help them out. The health pool is in favour of the defenders at this moment in time. Only 2 impacts and a C4 remain to deny. 35 seconds remaining, and Whippet, this push is going to be explosive. That is what I can guarantee.
A triple threat matchup arrives now. Weiwei gets aggressive inside of E-Box. No one there to meet the arrival. Hasn't committed all the way through yet, though, and Scipio will be the front line of the defensive standing. An impact tossed out, and the gun will fire away. The AUG leaves no victim standing as Weiwei's next to go. Byung finds one, looks for a second, but can't make it work. Scipio holds the line, defends the ground, and it all down. The Volcanoid confirms the kill, pads the stats, but walks into the crossfire. Scipio finds 3, finds the round for IOM, and this looks like a different team in absoluteness. We haven't seen them play this well all series, and now they are arriving with dominance and showing their true colors. A long way down the path is Clubhouse. It looks like we have seen a complete rebuild and restructure in the course of one map. What a change of flow it's been, and can they make their advantage even further as round 6 rolls up and they lead 4 rounds to 1.
With maybe potentially it is coming down to the fact that, well, maybe it just comes down to mental. Wombats, they've lost their own map, right? And it wasn't necessarily a dominant fashion, but it was certainly a good showing from IOM, and they'll be thinking, they maybe set themselves up to like, well, we're the ones who are meant to be winning Chalet, we'll take it here, and well, after the split they'll be thinking that they were in a good position to really win it out. Well, IOM have just came back into this game like nobody's business. I would even go as far to say that they almost didn't deserve to be back in this matchup, especially after how they played on Clubhouse. But well, this is Siege, this is how things go, this is how the cookie crumbles. I mean, how many times have we seen comebacks? This game is notorious for it. I mean, how many times have we seen people win gunfights that they're not meant to just because of the one headshot mechanic? Everything about this game, it's just all about drama. It's just drama to its core. And well, IOM, if they win this next one, it's advantage them.
I think it's already advantage them, Cairo. In all honesty, they've played so well. This is a transformative performance from them. Again, I don't want to keep drawing us to the dark times for IOM, but Clubhouse, they looked slow. They looked lethargic. They looked uncoordinated and lacking that checklist to work through. Chalet, they began to work through their problems. They clawed rounds back. They got themselves level. They gained the lead, and they pushed forward and got the victory. And now, they've got that momentum. They've got that mental strength and fortitude to fight through the bad times, and now, can they reap the reward and have a good harvest as the Wombats still put up a fight and trying to ruin their day? But IOM, they're looking strong here in Oregon, but let's forget. The defensive side here on Oregon tend to have a higher victory chance, at least. I believe it's 54% for them, so that is a factor to keep in your mind as this round continues to play up. The tertiary side, of course, definitely instead of Showers, has a shield to work with on an MX4 Storm. I think the MX4 Storm, a more vital piece of kit, because that weapon, if given a chance, can chew through you in mere seconds. The Gemini Replicator only takes a single round, but tell you what else takes a single round? The head of Call Me Dicta, who falls rapidly to the ground as a 5 versus 4 ensues. The Wombats suffer the first casualty yet again. And you mentioned it, they can bleed. Wombats dropping their first map on Chalet. They look like they might just be able to get killed now.
Well, with one thing that we have to say here as well, maybe Dicta just doesn't have it in the tank for the third map. Maybe she uses it all for those first two, and well, I hope that's not the case. I hope she does bounce back when we move and switch the sides, because well, Oregon has been so defender-sided so far, and Coop Machine, I mean, everybody on IOM on even kills. Let's really respect that how well every single player is chipping in as the smoke starts to come through. So does the push, and the C4 coming out. It seems the diffuser has been picked up again by Weiwei Downs deftly, and they're trying to get this diffuser down very shortly, but not going to be the case as DG7 continues the pain. 10 centimetre left with it all to do in a 5 versus 1 situation. It is clutch or kick. Can he somehow rescue a lifeline? It doesn't look as if it's going to be the case. All hope potentially lost here as Angelix puts the final nail in the coffin for this split. 5-1 on the half. A dominant display, and maybe it is revenge time for IOM as they look as 2 rounds away from winning out this best of 3 series on Oregon.
I said Oregon would be the great equalizer. The level playing field, the no home field advantage for either of these teams. And perhaps I spoke too rashly about Oregon, because it looks like Imperium Mandem are certainly playing with that home field advantage. 5-1. Let I remind you, on Clubhouse they suffered a 7-0 defeat. Long have they waited. They finally activated themselves. And can they grow their advantage? 1 round away from not only map and match point, but for series point. And of course, let I remind you the stakes of this matchup. The winner claims their seat at the table for our grand final against Team 9. That will certainly be an exciting one for whoever who joins them.
Well, Whippet, we have yet to confirm the details of the grand final, whether that be time, date, or opponents. And on the defensive, I mean, Wombats aren't really any team to be scoffed at. Yes, they haven't been too great on the attack so far. Yes, Call Me Dicta is only 1-6, and you think to yourself, well, IOM, every single one of them is fragging out, every single one of them is chipping in. Whippet, this could turn, I mean, with a flip of a coin, and everything could fall on heads. Well, let's hope it doesn't fall on the heads of IOM, and hopefully Wombats are able to maybe bring this back, maybe get us to overtime. What I need to see is...
I think at this stage, right, at the start of this, you know, even beforehand, we drew straws. We drew lots. We cast our lots for what team we would personally be backing for this one. Somewhat of a tradition in the backroom conversation before we go live, and I said IOM. You said Wombats. Every time I've ever mentioned a team, they've been cursed to an early demise, and for once, it looks like my team might be able to claw something back. Of course, we're not bias casters at all. We just want to be a little bit of sportsmanship ourselves and get involved, invested even further. And IOM, I'm cheering you on from the quiet part of my soul, but the loud part will have to stay as neutral as possible. We got 2 minutes left to work with. No engagements, no fights. It's Oregon. What do you expect? They're clearing the map, getting drones, establishing themselves, opening up walls, setting crossfires, getting their lines of sight primed and ready. Way away from the attic. It's a great angle, a great crossfire, a key moment. I mean, I've been distracted.
It's fine. It's fine. I've seen it
I
as
had
well.
to do it. So, this shotgun, okay. See, that's Magnum Buckshot at work for you, everybody. That's where you run it, that's where you use it, and that's going to be the opening kill for the Wombats. And perhaps I have first IOM. I'm not going to lie. I may have said those lines, that encouragement for IOM, because our observer has said that they also want them to win. So, who knows? I could have cursed them again. That would be my luck.
Can we get Noah? Can we get Noah's prediction just quickly so that we have full prediction here? Is that can he give us that and then we?
Yeah, we're getting it. We are getting this live for you, so we can figure out exactly everyone working the show tonight, how they're going to feel. Way ways next to go. Scipio dives into the action. Level playing field, 4 versus 4. A minute to work with. Can they push through? They have the access available into the attic now, and they can use this as a crossfire, split the site in half, but they must worry about anyone inside of small dorms. But as you can see, as well as I can, there's no red silhouette in small dorms. That's free real estate. They can just take it. They can run into attic and not worry about the crossfire. Do that though. Volcanoid down below, a great position, a great angle to hold on to. As I mentioned, that site's completely clear. If the diffuser was over there, they could waltz it in. That's just going to be Scipio claiming free real estate in a great position where the Mossberg fires away again and DJ7 falls. The diffuser now stranded in no man's land, and 10cm can't make it work. Gets caught out with a Type 89 in the hands of Habana. Bian's going to get aggressive now and look for more. Volcanoid ascends to White Stairs, tries to claw back that control, but how many runs have died in the position? Volcanoid caught by that nade, and now it's all down the Dicta in a 1 versus 2. 13 seconds left to go, and all it needs is one well-placed shot to be able to make this 1v1. As time drains down, Scipio recovers that diffuser and now gets in. 5 seconds spare, has to get this plant down, crosses into no man's land, and now we hit 0-0. The plant's going down, the coverage has to be arriving, and it is there, established. The crossfire absolutely perfect. As well, to walk and find some damage. Not enough to down or kill with a Type 89. Too ruthless, too ravage, and that's going to be yet another round from Team of Mandem. And as I previously mentioned, it's map point. It's match point. It's series point for Imperium of Mandem. Who would have saw this coming? All the way back those hours ago. Who saw this arriving? Imperium of Mandem back with passion and arriving. 6-1 your scoreline. Match and series point arriving.
Well, I'm just going to inform the viewers. The Dynamo Dutchman has decided to go for round 15, but IOM takes it. Well, we are a long way away from round 15, and well, if I'm the Wombats, I'm feeling a bit disheartened. I'm feeling maybe a bit disjointed, a bit disheartened with everything that has been going on here. Whippet. Every single turn.
What is there to be disappointed about, Cairo? Look at this series, right? Look at it.
No, but like from a perspective of, it seems as if the form of Clubhouse has completely switched around and it is now in favour of IOM. It's like a tail. It's literally like, at the start we saw it was all Wombats. In the middle we saw the two teams going at it. And now when you look at Oregon, at the end of the bread, it is at the
End
other
of the
heel.
bread?
Yeah,
What?
like imagine a loaf of bread.
Okay.
You get
And-
2 heels. You get the middle. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
this is the other heel. This is now on the other
That's
side.
a lot of. That's a lot. Chalet was a lot of bread.
It was a
If
lot.
that's that's a lot of carbs.
But it was. It went 7-5. Like you can't
is
say it
true.
wasn't a lot of bread.
Oh, okay, that is true. That was a lot of bread. That was a lot of carbo loading for IOM, because this is a marathon after all. Science put it right. It's a baguette. It's a lovely, crispy baguette, fresh from the bakery. That's what we had, and this is what this matchup is. But match point, IOM on the attacking side. They're pushing. They're trying to take the dorms once again. Centimeter. A shield this time. Coverage inside of Attic. Will it help? Will it assist? Adjustments always being made. That drone did make it. I thought we witnessed an NA drone, but no, it arrived. It got to its destination, safe and sound, and can scout out all of T2. We know no one's there, but the players don't, of course. They're trying to relay this information, setting up. No, there's no meat jammer on that wall, and they can waltz on in. And this is an interesting thought. Why have Wombats not put denial on this wall? Bring a mute, put these jammers down, and slow the progression of your opposition. You need to be able to waste every second you can, and a mute jammer, that's certainly an easy way to do so.
Yeah, well, I mean, any sort of denial is a good way to do it. Just, it means that IOM have to go and do other things. They have to go and destroy other utility, continue on, and we'll whip it all in all here. I mean, all you're doing is just making the job for IOM quicker, means that the execute can come in sooner, means that everything, I mean, that error, that margin of error becomes smaller because they can retry things. Say, for instance, you have denial in forms of C4s. Yes, you deny the plant, but then another one takes its place. It's like Zerg rushing at it to its final four, and well, that's not a good sign. Seems like the smoke grenade is coming out already. 10 seconds at a time can deny an area with it, and well, it's not as if it's a key position to be denying. It's not as if it's IOM chapping at the door already. All they're doing is key work, and that is key work in itself. 10 centimeters has downed the diffuser, and well, a precarious situation, but Deathly is quick enough to go and pick it up. Deathly, get out of there! Make sure you confirm the diffuser. The shotgun comes out, but in the dirt goes 10 centimeters.
That was a must-win fight this round, cracked wide open, and definitely now with 2. The kills keep rolling in for IOM. 4 versus 3. We have 45 seconds left to work with, and this will be a bloodbath of brawl to the bitter end. Victor finds one. Deathly's off the board. A triple threat match to arrive. The nade forces Dicta to move on up. She can't stay and can't hold her ground. Boeing's gonna be able to get one as well. Vulcanoid's next to leave the blocks. 3 versus 2. Tension building, tension rising. Who will be the victor of this round? A key one for the Wombats. Can they hold their ground? Wei tries, finds some damage, gets shut down by Scipio, and that's all she wrote! IOM, from the depths of despair on Clubhouse, punched their ticket in the comeback story of the season. They are going to the grand final.
From 7-0 to 7-5 to 7-1. Just like that. That's how you flip a match on its head. I said at the very start of Chalet that the fact that Angelic's Cute Machine has come into it, this map will change. I said we will have a game on our hands, and a game we did. But I'll tell you something, Whippet. The Combat Wombats need to go out with their heads held high. Maybe I custom saying it was the Cairo caster buff, but I will say something. They have 2-0'd every single team up until IOM. You've got to remember, this team was second placed coming into the playoffs. They come up against 9 who were first. That's the only team that IOM have lost to in this playoff bracket. This has been such a great game, and well, it's been such a great example of how good Bull can be.
There is a reason why, in my heart of hearts, this is some of the best University Siege I have ever seen. It's back and forth. The storyline of this matchup, 7-0 down on their map choice of club, and they didn't give up. They weathered the storm, they rode the waves, and they got the victory on Chalet. They took the home field advantage from their opposition, and they took everything else on Oregon. A dominant and just heroic display from them. The claw back and, well, truly showing us that in these longer formats, in these best of 3s, in best of 5s, it really is a marathon, and if you have the gas tank to go the distance, you can find victory. But absolute credit for IOM. And in that final, I'm telling you, when we release the date, when we release the time, be there, because that will be, and I've got to say it once this cast, an absolute barn burner.
wait, is that someone chapping at my door? Is that Chief? Because I'll tell you something, he'll be raging with that. But, well, we have confirmation. 40% of the final will be from Exeter and Whippet. With everything that's going on today, we could sit and probably analyse every single round and really get into the nitty-gritty of the strategy and the way the players have been playing. But, I mean, me and you have got lives. Everybody has lives. They don't want to sit and listen to two Scottish and Irish people for too long. So, I mean, I'm going to let you close it out because this has just been such a great match.
Well, I think it's not just a great match, Cairo. I think this was a superb match. I think the storyline going into this one, it's the first time we saw a third map. It was the first time Combat 1 Match dropped a map, and now their run is over. They had such a good run in our playoffs, in our lower bracket, but the Imperium have manned them. That's a wall they cannot surface, and they will be able to punch their ticket to the grand final. What a performance from both teams. Congratulations and commiserations again. This is what we love about Siege, the thrill and the agony. But from everyone here, everyone working behind the scenes in the broadcast, Science, Noah, to Cairo, of course, on the other side of the virtual castle desk, we thank you for being here. And I tell you what, keep your eyes peeled for our socials, because when we announce the date for this final, do not miss it. It will be some of the best Siege you have seen at the university level, even at any level. It will be fantastic. But from everyone here tonight, everyone at Buell, we thank you for joining us, and we bid you farewell.
No making amends, no waking up beside you and holding you till we forget it all. How could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. You couldn't keep the door shut, and now the frostbite's creeping in. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here, so come home. Why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stone cold. You 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 got me stone cold. No Wizard of Oz can undo what I've done. Completely out of luck this time. I'm stuck in reverse. I gotta get away now, but I can't seem to take the lead. Oh baby, how could I know there was no second chances? Like dominoes, my life got really scattered. Still, I find myself hoping that you'll find your way back to me. 'Cause I've been stone cold since you left me here, so come home. Why won't you reappear? Things that I said came out totally wrong. Can't speak of the truth when it's tainted. I fell into a big black hole. It got me stuck.